What the shit is happening? No.
Good morning, everyone.
Wait, we're live? It's not even done yet.
I know. I will keep going. This is fucking great.
Oh my god. Okay. No. Gotham Knights, if it's on your radar, don't take it off of there. The CW show, don't do it.
The only way this would be better is if it was a hard cut, but no, it was actually a very smooth transition opening up into what the shit is this? The timing was immaculate.
That's how it's. Oh my god.
That's how we're starting our show today, baby.
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate this is great energy. I'm bringing this in. We're going into hot. We're good. For those of you, okay, I'm gonna do my thing. For those of you, Anita and Noir just showed me the Gotham Knights trailer. I've been avoiding it because this is not a show that should be consumed. Mm-hmm. If you have any respect for Batman or anything
or yourself in general
or yourself, yeah. They took hold on. My take.
Paper mache has bat mask.
Yeah. That look like
Robin.
There's so much going on with this trailer. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna say one thing and I'll be done with this trailer. And I'm gonna try and forget this. And oh my god, we can get started with this ritual sacrifice or something. It's a CW show. It's take any generic CW show. That's what this is. And then they put the Gotham label on it to sell and capture that audience, I guess.
It's Riverdale and Gotham.
Because they're losing the Flash audience. They're hemorrhaging viewers. people are getting wise to the CW shenanigans. God. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
When you operated at a loss for years to line the pockets of higher executives, it's going to eventually show in your product.
Oh my god,
Hello, welcome to Morning Ritual.
That trailer is ass. That trailer sucks.
It's certified poo-poo. You can quote me on that.
Before we get started today with our introductions, I have to let y'all know that we are currently sponsored by Metal Weave Games, and our friends there are putting together a collection of fantasy drinks presented not as ingredients, but guides for their creation or gameplay mechanics, but they're their own story that can help enhance the roleplay experience at your table. Check out Libations. It'll be live on Kickstarter in a couple weeks. Is that the command? Oh no, I think it's this one. That one. Yeah, check it out. But yeah, this is Morning Ritual. This is our TTRPG talk show. I'm Anita. My pronouns are she, they. I am one of your hosts, and down here,
I'm the other host. I'm Noir. I go by he, I'm sorry. That trailer really did
take the
fun.
It takes something out of you.
It's taken. There's a light inside of all of us that really, I think some people would call it the soul, and I feel like mine's been dimmed a little bit. That being said, we have a fantastic guest with us today. Kappa, why don't you tell the folks about yourself?
Hello, my name is Christian, better known as Kappa in most online spaces. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a producer, performer, voice actor. I do lots of stuff. Mostly in the TTRPG space, but I dabble. I like video games. I like shows. I like all this stuff. I do not like Gotham Knights.
You sure?
Yeah, that little light that you were talking about, you said dimmed a little bit. Mine's on fire right now. Mine burns with more rage.
I mean, I don't understand how you have 60 plus years of history and lore and you're like, nah. It's instead of pulling on any of that, which has proven to be compelling, we're just gonna make new stuff.
Here's what's happening. Like they don't care, right? That's it. Someone is pitching CW show after CW show, regardless of what IP is on there, and then they slap an IP on top of it. That's what happened with Riverdale. That's what's going on. Like the last actual CW show that wasn't just a random AI generated plot was Arrow, because they just took the Batman storyline, but they couldn't afford the Batman IP and stuck Green Lantern on there. Not Green Lantern, Green Arrow on there. This is my hot take. This is it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Season 1 Green Arrow was definitely Batman.
It was just Batman.
And they brought in Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. They took the fun, quippy, extremely charming Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, and then they're like, let's not do any of that.
Failed this city.
Let's not do any of that. Let's turn him into Bruce, and not even like good Bruce, like shitty, broody, not like no Robin Bruce.
You ever look up how much these superhero billionaires, how much they're worth? I got really stoned one day and did that.
Did you?
Oh my God. So first off, who do you think is the richest superhero?
The richest superhero.
And this is a question for you two, chat. Who do you think is the richest superhero?
I know the answer to this.
Okay. If are we talking just DC Marvel?
We're talking DC Marvel. Who's the richest out of all of them?
Cthulhu's saying T'Challa.
You're gonna say T'Challa? Ooh, yeah, that's compelling. I'm gonna say, I want to say Stark. I'm gonna say Stark.
Okay, all right.
Because here's my reasoning. Stark has like fingers in all the pies, and that's got to generate money somehow. Like he's a smart person. He's white. He's got social capital. I think whatever he's doing is making him money by the second.
Okay. All right. So
P Squared says Mr. Terrific.
Okay.
Or Shoddy says Doom.
Oh frick! I forgot Doom. Well, but Doom's not a hero, right?
Doom would count. Doom would count.
Okay, because it's a Doom.
Right. But the richest superhero is T'Challa, who is
okay. There you go.
His personal wealth is estimated. This is just how much he has, not how much Wakanda's worth. $90.7 trillion.
Ooh, okay. Yes.
Number 2, Tony Stark at $12.4 billion.
What the gap? What?
Number 3.
That's an order of magnitude. Several orders of magnitude. Sorry, go ahead. Number 3.
Number 3 is Bruce Wayne, who is his estimated net worth is $9.2 billion.
What? Okay. The gap in all of these is wild. T'Challa was a good one. I didn't want to. I don't want to copy off Anita's homework, so I'm like, who's the most logical person?
Cthulhu actually answered that in chat, not me.
Oh, Mole. Oh, hey, Tara's here. Hey, Tara.
Number 4, Professor Xavier at $3.5 billion.
Xavier's old money.
Yeah.
And number 5 is Emma Frost at $1 to $3 billion. $1
to $3 billion. I don't know what to do with this information. I'm just gonna be like, the richest superhero is a black dude. Did you know that?
Yeah, 97.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy as well. And the fact that it's his personal wealth, this is not how much money Wakanda has. This is just how much he has.
Yeah.
Ooh, that feels good.
It's a great time.
Yeah, but it also makes me mad because with that kind of money, you can quite literally change the entire world.
And you know what? If we had people in the writers' room who actually cared about that shit, he would. He would. He absolutely would. T'Challa's not sitting on $90 trillion and going like, I'm gonna dress up in a cat suit and fight.
Well, you know what though? Like, I think
justice.
it kind of makes sense for T'Challa because he's like, we're good.
Okay.
Fuck the rest of y'all.
T'Challa is just like, you are not yet responsible enough to handle all of this. So I'm gonna hold on to this until you're ready, world.
I do wish that if T'Challa was real, that all the African diaspora would get a free flight to Wakanda.
Yeah.
Do you know how quickly I'd be on that flight? I love y'all, but
I mean, like,
I'd wish you well.
If that happened, if that like actually happened, I'm like, what do you do? Go, leave, get out of here. Just please this is your out.
Actually, now that I think about it, if we go back to that list, number 1 is a black guy.
Yeah.
And number 2 is Latinx. Tony Stark is Latino.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what we out here. We making our paper, baby. I always hated how like they played down the fact that Tony Stark is Latino. Like, come on.
Yeah.
His name is Antonio Stark.
Like at the very least, like Italian, right?
Oh man. I would have killed for a young Antonio Banderas to be Tony Stark.
They do this, like this pops up on my feed, my internet scrolling history every once in a while. That like if
or Portuguese says Nikki.
Oh
yeah,
there you go. If Marvel happened in the 90s, you know who
I've seen that.
Who would be cast? Yeah, I agree with you. Young Antonio Banderas as Tony Stark.
That'd be so sexy.
He'd be so
a younger Anthony Hopkins is Doom.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's get him popping.
Yeah. I feel like Anthony Hopkins would run away with the Doom character.
Oh yeah, he fucking kill that shit.
Like he would Robert Downey Jr. the Doom character.
You know, Wesley Snipes for the longest was trying to get Black Panther.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, buddy, but you got Blade. That's,
yeah.
You know, it's not bad.
As we've seen, without Blade, we don't get the MCU. Without Blade, we don't get.
See, I wish more people would acknowledge that fact, because that man.
Because those movies are good.
Like, motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. I quote that shit daily. People say, oh, it was Spider-Man that put superhero movies more in the public. I'm like, no, it was Blade. I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. It was Blade. It was Blade. I mean, without Blade, we don't get X-Men. Without X-Men, we don't get Spider-Man. Come on. People.
Blade was out in 98.
Yes.
Tell the motherfuckers that motherfuckers was always trying to ice skate uphill. It's the coldest line. And he says it he says it after he beats the bad guy. Oh, it's so good.
And from what I know from listening to Secret History of Nerd Mysteries, go listen to that podcast. I'm just gonna free plug right here. I love that.
Shout out to Austin, Salem Scale Austin.
What was it? Like Wesley Snipes put so much into that movie. That movie is just Wesley Snipes, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much that he contributed to that movie. The costume design, the script, right? Like he was just ran away with it. And I think going back to Dr. Doom, Anthony Hopkins would do the same.
Yeah, I mean, without Wesley Snipes, we wouldn't even know about Morbin Tide.
It's true.
Oh. Okay.
No, the joke is like I think this joke has officially reached its peak because Jared Leto is in on it now.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
no, don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's sad now.
It's sad now.
No. This was the one thing that was bringing me happiness this weekend.
It's so sad. Do you know what's going on with what happened?
No.
Do you want to know?
No, but I need to. I paid to have the plane fly outside of Sarah's house that just says it's morbid time. It's gonna do 3 revolutions until we can finally convince her to watch Morbius.
He recorded a video of him reading like a script, and he was like trying to be all secretive about it, and then they caught the title of it, and it's 100% fake, but it's like Morbius 2, it's morbid time, and he's like trying to cash in on it. He's trying to be coy about it, trying to do the Tom Holland thing. It's not a good look. No. Mm-mm. Why do we keep giving Jared Leto movies? Despite Jared Leto doing his very Jared Leto to be the most Jared Leto, we still eked out a little bit of joy from this shit fest of a movie. Yep.
And then he saw that joy that we had. He was like,
no.
It's not a joke if I'm in. It's not a joke against me if I'm in on it, friends.
God damn it. God damn. I mean, honestly, do you know how big a bag fumble it is to be casted as the Joker, as an annoying white guy?
Yeah.
And fuck it up.
The only thing now that can restore the sort of joy that we're having is that if no one goes to see the second run of Morbius. It's on Twitter, it's all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone here has seen it so far, but I want it to be said, don't go watch Morbius. Let this flop twice. Let this movie flop twice.
Yes, please.
Let's send a message to Hollywood. You can take our money, but you're not taking our memes, goddammit.
They're gonna be like this. I'm gonna call this out right now. There are going to be articles saying the age of the superhero movie is over after Morbius. It's been long over. The reason why we're not watching this movie is because Jared Leto is in it, and Jared Leto has a hand in most of what's going on with Morbius. It's not that the superhero movie is dying.
You know what's really the most upsetting thing about Jared Leto? The fact
that he texts 14-year-old girls.
There's so many things. There was that. Thank you, Anita.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Well, never mind.
Okay, what
I was gonna say.
Noah, what's the second worst
What
thing?
is the second most
Yeah.
upsetting thing about Jared Leto?
The second most annoying thing about Jared Leto is you could potentially find some enjoyment from the art he makes if he would just shut the fuck up. Listen, I'm not gonna front like I wasn't bumping some 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm not gonna be that guy that's just like, I've always hated Jared Leto. Like, no, when the kill is on, I turn into somebody else. I mean, like that. I'm that guy. I'm not gonna fucking act like that shit didn't hit. That shit hit, and it will continue to hit. And that music video was fire too. And I can't. And I hate that he ruins that for me.
I agree. Yes, I feel this so much because 30 Seconds to Mars got really big while as I was entering high school. So yeah. I'm I every time 30 Seconds to Mars comes onto my playlist, I'm just like, oh, okay, let's rock out to the song and just kind of and then say 3 bad things about Jared Leto. Just
is that the price we have to pay to enjoy that music?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, listen. Okay,
It's like
you know
it's
this
the
is.
equivalent of going to confessional and having to say a couple Hail Marys
Yeah,
after you sin.
yeah.
Well, see, but here's the thing, though. Like, I feel like there are some people who are so awful that even if their music bangs, you can't listen to it anymore.
Mhm.
Like, I can't, and I want you to understand why this is hard for me. I can't listen to any more R. Kelly songs, and I am a black guy from Chicago. And R. Kelly is a black guy from Chicago. And I Believe I Can Fly was the banger on the Space Jam soundtrack, which was a movie about Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bull, saving the Looney Tunes from the Monstars. And I can't, I know the words.
I'm catching this glimpse into what it's like because I can't profess that same experience. But holy shit, I'm so sorry.
These people don't think about their actions.
As you know, like we felt the effects of Space Jam, and I believe I Can Fly in California. we felt it too. And I mourn for you.
I Believe I Can Fly was my first karaoke song, and I sang it at Six Flags.
Oh, and you can't rewrite that. You can't rewrite that.
I can't take that away from my history.
You can't.
I'm marred now.
That's written. Icky. That's written into that's hardwired.
It's in my DNA now.
And it's marred by
you, Robert Kelly.
I was gonna say Roger Kelly.
Rocked the world.
I don't know what the R stands for. Is it Robert?
It's Robert.
Okay,
Robert Kelly.
I'm only going to refer to R. Kelly as Robert Kelly from now on, just to add
Take
that.
the power. Take the power back. That R has too much power.
Yeah.
Call him Robert.
Yeah, Robert Kelly.
Call him Bob.
Bob Kelly.
Bobby Kelly.
Bobby Kelly. Oh no.
That sounds like a guy that does what he did.
Yeah.
Keep your young ones away from Bobby Kelly. You know how he gets.
Robert.
Oh, shit.
This is supposed to be like a TTRPG morning show, but we're going off on
Yeah, let's look.
This is amazing.
You acting like Bobby Kelly as if it'll be the name of my next BB. Are y'all ready to face the fury that is
we're
Bobby
bringing it back.
Kelly?
We're bringing it back to.
Just an evil bard going around town, needing to be stopped. Bobby Kelly. I refuse to share a name with Robert Kelly. It's so gross. Bobbert Kelly.
Bobbert Kelly? No, more shoddy, please.
I love the energy that we're bringing into the studio today.
I had so much coffee in anticipation for this, and it's paying off.
Bobbert kind of goes hard away. Bobbert Kelly catches you in the street slipping.
Fucking, you hear of the legend of Bobby K?
Bobby!
An evil bard who captured the soul of the nation.
Sir Bobbert K.
Bobbert K.
Thanks, I hate it.
Bobby K, that fucks. Oh, God.
Thank you, Classic Dragon.
can be pronounced like Lord Bobert's name.
Bobert.
Bobert?
Bobert.
Bobert K.
Bobert K.
Oh, are we
gonna happen.
collectively
Yeah.
making a BBEG?
Put that into your Morbius themed campaign. I saw you tweet about that. I saw you tweet about it.
I don't know if I want to now that Jared Leto has put his stain.
Oh yeah, this was before. Yeah, so that idea came before.
I didn't know. These evil men keep ruining shit. It's Pride Month. Call him Bobby Slay.
Bobby Slay.
I fucking hate this chat. Fuck you guys.
I love this chat right now.
Right now.
For now.
Later though, it's all hands on deck.
Oh
my god, Bobby Slay.
That's someone I don't want to. I feel like that's someone's drag name. I don't want to put dirt on that.
I don't want to ruin that for them.
Yeah.
Bobert Slay.
Bobert Slay. That one's kind of out there. I think.
Bobert because.
Yes. There you go.
I told you weeks ago I show up here for one reason and one reason only, to be a minute.
I'm crying.
So
how do we get here?
I don't know. I really don't.
I know there are tracks to this train somewhere.
There's never any tracks. The show doesn't actually have segments. We just like to pretend that it does.
This is the same show that landed Matt Mercer 7 days ago.
Listen, this is the kind of quality reporting that they could, like, if anybody actually stuck around after Matt's episode, this is like what we're really like when we're not on our best behavior.
I would like to mention that while we were on our best behavior, we came up with the Vanilla Ice Principle.
Yeah, the VIP.
That's true.
That's real. That is real. I was laughing my ass off. Holy shit. Oh, so, that's gonna be a cross stitch on so many like walls now.
Yeah, you could buy it on a throw pillow on our merch shop. That's my plug for the day.
I mean, the thing that I'm the most happy about is that we got Matt to confess to being Stop the Crotch, and I felt the wave of sadness in the critter community. And I'm not gonna lie, it got me horny.
Wait, I was like, that was that face. So that was that. There was an expression change. I was like, oh my! Noir went.
Sounded like Biggie.
Speaking of, do we want to ask the question now that we've actually mentioned?
I mean,
if we were
only 42 minutes in, but
we found the tracks. Yeah, we found the tracks. They're over there. Let's meander in that direction, I guess.
All right, fuck it. There's a silent war going on in the TTRPG community between several different factors or factions. There are those of us who believe that that dice do not belong in your mouth for a number of reasons. One, it's a choking hazard. Two, you can damage your teeth. There's another side of this faction which believes that dice are the forbidden candy, that you should put them in your mouth and crunch. And then there's the third factions, which is a group of fucking cowards who believe that choosing a side is too hard and they want mommy to carry them to bed and give them a forehead smooch and a cup of cocoa.
Are you saying that that crunch responsibly is for uppies?
Don't you fucking try and conversation jujitsu me right now.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah.
So there's the side of those who believe we should stop the crotch, those who believe that we should continue to crotch, and then those who believe we should crotch responsibly. So Christian Kappa.
Mm-hmm. Both are good.
What side? I'm so used to calling you Kappa.
Whichever
one you prefer.
If that's comfortable for, just don't call me Chris.
Okay. Then I'm going to change your name on the overlay real quick.
Ooh.
Oh, I just noticed that. That's okay. No, don't worry about it.
Takes me 2 seconds. There you go.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Which side of this war are you on?
Okay. First of all, it's not so silent of a war anymore.
Oh yeah, we've blown it up.
It's full blown, all out. It's people know it's happening. Matt Mercer knows it's happening.
We're ruining relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how hard I'll laugh if we ever get Marisha Ray on here? And Marisha's like, I'm crotch crew all day, baby. I'm like, we've destroyed Critical Role. No, please, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot, and there is a camp that I thought I was in, but in good conscience, in the name of science, needed to test out. And so I took one of my metal dice.
Oh no!
Sanitized it, boiled it. I'm not gonna put resin in my mouth. Okay.
Oh no!
I will say I crunched for science.
Oh!
Do not put dice in your mouth.
That's what's up.
Hashtag stop the crunch.
This motherfucking crunch, y'all.
Get me a shirt.
Let's go. Let's go.
I will tattoo this. Stop the crunch. First of all, you listed two very important points. Choking hazard could break your teeth. Most dice out there are made of resin.
Resin is poison.
Resin will kill you. Resin is the new cigarettes.
You'll go to jail.
Okay, but see, I want to introduce a fourth faction, if I may.
Okay.
I want to introduce a fourth faction.
Let's see what we got.
You know the principle of natural selection. Do you understand?
Darwin awards people with fucking dice.
Yep.
We will call this faction the Let Them Die.
Yep.
Get it? Because it's you know what?
Yep.
I might have to. I will say, stop the crunch. Can and may consider ally with the Let Them Die faction.
I am not here. I'm not here to
crunch irresponsibly.
Crunch irresponsibly.
Hashtag Kappa lets them die. I like the ring. I like how that sounds.
This war is getting more and more brutal.
That was a wild journey, Dylan, from start to finish.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Listen, I truly believe that the TTRPG community has its heroes and its villains. And I'm starting to think, Kappa, you're on the villain side of this, right alongside Drake, who is my mortal enemy.
Yes, and then we've talked about. I mean, you mentioned it so many times on the show before. That Abria is just profiteering off of this war.
And oh my God, do we have? What's the opposite of the Justice League? It's the Doom League something.
The Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom.
The light, if you watch Young Justice.
Yo. Okay. So far in our TTRPG Legion of Doom, we have Abria, we've got Kappa, we've got Drake, and we've got Dare. Dare is also in that as well. That's a formidable personalities in this villain league.
I came here secretly to reveal that I'm the heel of the TTRPG community. I think I've cemented that. I think I've cemented that in the history books at this point.
You just created the Let Them Die faction in this crotch war. How the fuck are we not sponsored by a dice company yet? What the fuck? This is primo material right here. You can have the Let Them Die dice set.
Think of just the branding and the merch potential. You got different factions. Get some graphic designers on this. Michael Wayne, I appreciate that. Appreciate you for now.
Maybe it's because you keep telling people to eat dice and perish. Listen, Diana, did nobody actually want a logical explanation for our failure? I think I wore the right shirt today. Fight the chat.
But fight the chat. Oh, I want that shirt. I want a shirt like that. But see, okay, but here's what I encourage. I encourage not putting resin dice into your mouth. I encourage
acrylic dice are fine.
I'm acrylic dice, yes. I am I encourage the scientific method. Please do not take any things for face value if you can test them at all. You might come to the wrong conclusion, but at least you tried.
Can we get our Darwin
right reasons?
Can we get our Darwin Award dice set?
I hate this. I kind of hate this.
If I can get that, please call it. Please, if I can impart something onto the TTRPG community, it would be this line of dice named after me.
The Kappa die.
The Kappa die. Kappa, let them die. Darwin dice has a good ring to it, but then we give credit to some white dude.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Oh my god, I love this segment so much.
The Darwin Digest 20 nat ones.
I love this segment so much because it's such a stupid thing to fight about. But I'm adamant about having.
I'm pretty sure that someone has actually come up with a let them or with not a let them die, but I guess I'll die shirt with the D20 rolling a 1.
Oh yes, yeah. But now we need the shirt going in that image going into a mouth.
Like we could just make so many crotch based shirts. Like I'm trying to make
emailing Die Hard Dice for us right now.
Kappa let them die set. That works so well. Is it Kappa let them the dice set? Or is it Kappa let them die set? Oh, it's good.
It's good. It's good.
We'll leave that to the marketing department, people who actually have, education in that. I guess. I just know what sounds good, but I don't know what will sell. That's the thing.
We don't have any handle on the business side of shit,
and I'm not getting paid to figure this shit out. So.
Oh my god! All right, well, since we've already started down asking our weekly questions, I got another question to ask you.
Hit me.
You can play with any 5 people, alive or but they have to be alive.
Okay.
You get to choose who's the GM, and you get to choose what game to play.
Okay.
Who you picking, and what game you playing, and who's the GM? Okay.
I've thought about this quite a bit.
Our questions are getting too predictable. No, I'm kidding.
So, what? So I've thought about this quite a bit, but but before the idea of me ever joining Critical Misses was the thing. I want the table to feel comfortable, and I want the game to be accessible. Dungeons and Dragons is the most prominent thing that people know. So right. we're playing 5e.
Okay.
I respect and enjoy the content that Iffy and Wadiway puts out, and I would love to share a table with Iffy. I've been watching Iffy for several years now, and I'm just like, you just everything about you, suave, cool, smart, funny, horny. Hilarious. So yes.
Oh, horny.
Funny and hilarious. So
that's another dream guest for us on this one.
Hey, we'll make it happen. I will manifest this. I will put this out into the universe. I'll tweet about it.
Stand outside his house like.
Daniel Radcliffe could be our token white dude.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe, I feel like Daniel Radcliffe could bring such like just a gremlin character to the table and make us feel for this gremlin character. I know Aubrey Plaza plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Does she?
I feel like I've read an article.
Oh, that'd be fucking sick.
I feel like Aubrey Plaza would be such a joy just to watch as she builds the most min-max character and then doesn't use them min-max at all, like a total combat build, but then never uses them for combat and just uses them for like social interactions and stuff. This is where it starts to get hard. I love this person so much, and I feel like they are such a creative mind, and that having them at the table, and plus it would be an extreme just dream of mine to meet this person. Utada Hikaru, person who, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, the voice behind all the Kingdom Hearts songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, you
great.
sit there and I just heard Sanctuary and almost cried.
they would come up with the most just out there character.
Oh, that's a good choice. Fuck
Yeah.
you, dude.
Yeah, that's 4, right? That's 4. That's
4.
That's iffy. Yeah. This is where it gets hard because I don't know if I would be able to GM this table. I don't think I'd be able to.
It's 5, not including yourself.
Oh, not including myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you got one more pick.
Okay. I'm not GMing it. I'm playing it alongside Daniel Radcliffe, Aubrey Plaza, Utada Hikaru, and Iffy and Wariway. Fuck it, Hideo Kojima. I feel like Hideo Kojima would come up with the most batshit crazy.
What the fuck kind of weird?
Who's
fucking
GMing
game?
in this?
Hideo Kojima.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Just the most out there story, the most out there campaign, and then it switches rules somewhere in the middle, and we start instead we start playing, I don't know, Masks or something. I don't know.
Starts out as a 5e campaign and then it shifts.
Yeah,
like partway through when he finds a system he likes better.
Yeah,
amazing.
And we would eat that shit up. And this is for no one else. This is not streamed or anything. This is just nice game among equals, and then Hideo Kojima just does whatever he wants, and we just kind of have to survive it.
That man scares me.
That man needs to make a movie.
Have you played his Silent Hill demo? Like, Hideo Kojima was supposed to do a Silent Hill game and did like a little teaser of his idea as a demo on PlayStation, and then for some reason it went under, and so the game never happened. But that playable demo still exists, and it's really just you walking down a hall over and over again. But little shit changes. And like, you know, sometimes the phone will ring, and if you fucking pick up the phone, PT. PT, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's PT.
That demo scared the shit out of me.
As it should. To
the point where I deleted it from my PlayStation.
No, Noir, you didn't delete it.
I did. No. And now I figured, well, the real game's gonna come out, so like I don't need.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Because okay. Noir said you can play this. You can't. I mean, you can, but it's really hard because the
only way to play it now is to have a PlayStation that downloaded it, and like people are selling whole ass PlayStations just to play this demo because that's how good it was. It's scary as shit.
It's got it had what's the dude that was in his most recent game, Death Stranding.
Yeah, the guy who plays Daryl, Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, yeah. Norman Reedus was like the big reveal at the end of that. If you made it to the end of that,
I didn't make it to the end of that.
It was terrifying. It was such a great way to tell a story. Like if you can get past the fear and not shit your pants, it was such a great way, creative way to tell a story. And I feel like Hideo Kojima could do that very well in a movie, and also a TTRPG campaign.
Like when I tell y'all this shit was when you're scared to go ahead because you know something scary is ahead of you, and then you know that fear where you're like scared to go back because you're like, I feel like there's something following me.
Yeah.
Imagine that at the same time. So it's just like, I just want to stand here. You ever been afraid to stand in one spot because some weird shit is going to come to you? That, man.
PT was a masterpiece.
It's just such a testament to how video games are a legitimate art form in that these are pixels and bits of code, and they can scare the daylights out of you.
I mean, it really...
It makes like the purpose of art is to make you feel something, and if that something is you're losing your lunch, that's still art. Like that. PT was elegant. PT was terrifying, and the fact that we lost that game, I think, honestly, I think we're better for it. Not gonna lie,
bro. I almost shit my pants at a demo. I don't want the full game.
Yeah, we don't get reality is stranger than fiction sometimes, and this is one of those instances.
I mean, because it would be something as little as sometimes when you walk, you hear your footsteps and another set of footsteps, and they stop when you stop, and I'm like, I love this, and then it is you're going through the same corridor,
and you're being gaslit. You're like, did I?
Sometimes a door will be there, and then next time there won't be a door. And it's just I don't love this.
Yeah,
I don't love this experience that's happening to me right now.
Like the alarm clock, you look at it, you're like, that wasn't the time before, but you can't remember because you were too scared walking through the door that you just walked through.
And what really upsets me about PT is that demo has been that demo was more terrifying to me than a lot of full-fledged horror games.
Yeah.
And it's what the fuck are y'all doing? This one demo.
There are rumors of the full game now getting released, or getting made. And I don't know if it could live up to what PT did.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately because I'm gonna reference the most recent Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 8 Village or something.
Is that the one with
Dami Mommy? Yeah.
Lady D.
Can't
Lady
be
Domitech.
scared if I'm horny.
Yeah, exactly. She was a part of the game. A sizable part of the game, and that's what everyone was looking forward to. But the rest of the game, while still good, was not that. And I feel like whatever we get, if we get Silent Hills, what came of what the PT demo was supposed to lead up to, I don't think it would have delivered the same experience.
Yeah,
I've thought so. Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about that a lot.
I think what PT showed us was an artist at work versus a company making a product.
Yes.
PT was, and I just looked it up. PT stands for playable teaser. PT was an artist going, I'm going to scare you. My entire, I want to invoke an emotion from you.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil is Capcom going, I want to sell a game. There's a fucking difference, and you can feel it.
And I think that's why Hideo Kojima decided to go rogue and do his own thing. That I will always say it. He just needs to make a movie. The games that he makes, they're good, compelling, and arguably fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he wants to ever take the reins on a movie, he would do so well.
Because
he's all about.
Go ahead.
I understand that he wants to do an art form that is interactive, that engages the person experiencing the art in a way that is more than just witnessing it. But then you can't have that thesis while introducing a 2-hour cutscene in your game, a whole full ass feature length cutscene in a game. Just make a movie. Just make a series. Give Hideo Kojima a series, please.
I think I'm a little wary on that, mainly because, like, I think one of the things that Kojima does that's just absolutely brilliant is he plays with the medium in such a unique way. Like, I still remember fighting Psycho Mantis and like having to figure out I had to put my controller in the second port.
Yep.
Like, that blew my fucking mind.
Or when it gives you the game over screen.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I mean, it's just really clever ways to play with the medium. And I think that comes out of his experience of being a game designer for so long. But I think you're right. I think if he builds up the experience as a filmmaker, the things he might be able to do there would be.
I mean, and we know it won't just be the show or the series or the movie. It would be a full-blown ARG, engage the audience in some way. Hideo Kojima won't just stop at the show. You know, Netflix tried doing this point-and-click adventure. Not point-and-click adventure.
Bandersnatch.
Choose your own adventure thing. That's super up Hideo Kojima's playbook, right?
I would fucking kill for a point-and-click from Hideo. Oh,
right.
Oh, now you've blown my mind.
I've unlocked something.
I want that.
He can do whatever he wants. But I think if he decides to do this, smash it automatically. Like whichever studio or company picks that up is going to be swimming.
I mean, to bring it to TTRPG, like I love how Hideo plays with the medium, and I'm desperate to try and find a way to replicate that, or to see somebody do something as inventive as Hideo does with video games in the actual play space. Because I do think that we have hit a little bit of a wall where, it's just a couple of people in a square telling a story together, which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's amazing.
We love
great.
It. We have entire channels, we have entire careers out of it.
Yeah, but I feel like at some point, somebody's got to do something that just fucking
just flies.
Just goes hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, like, could you imagine Hideo Kojima doing an actual play?
I can't, because the meat, like you say it, like he plays with the medium so well. The medium is so open already, right? The people experiencing it are already influencing whatever is being presented. He would transcend, I think, TTRPGs. It would be this entirely different thing, and I don't think he knows it yet.
Yeah,
and that's why I put him on my table.
Mothulu brings, I think APs are currently limited by the platforms that host them, because Twitch only lets you do so much.
I'm trying to figure out how to put the words to that. I think that limitations are a challenge to artists to find a way to work within those limitations, to do things people couldn't expect could be done within those limitations. I truly believe, like, I mean, with the right producer, the right cast, and the right GM, I think that they could look at the way Twitch functions and find something that we're not seeing in it, that will end up becoming an amazing storytelling device.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. And great, Austin said it in chat, and I'm gonna absolutely copy off your homework, but I want the record to show that I also had this idea where while you're talking, Kill Screen premiered this past week. It's absolutely the way of the future with TTRPGs and actual plays. If you haven't gone to check that out,
I haven't had a chance to see Kill Screen, but I know that it is being done by Roll. Shout out to Roll. But yeah, tell me a little bit about it if you can.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just a viewer. I have no part in the project, but it's got involved so many people I care about.
Drax in it.
Drac is in it. Draconics, co-founder of Forward, wonderful person. The Brandy Rose, happy Brandy Rose, light in the TTRPG community, but also Feral Goblin that should not be fucked with. And Black Girl Mage Lexi is GMing it, or is the showrunner. Wonderful, amazing person. Shout out to you, Lexi. You're amazing. And producing it is Burst of Hope, Jess. I know Jess. I swear to God, if you're in chat. And Jess is extremely talented and has all these wonderful, great ideas about production and how this TTRPG space is going. And a production like Kill Screen could only come from the mind of Jess. I think, like it. I don't know where the idea first came from, but that innovation, that evolution of actual plays has Jess's hands all over it, fingerprints all over it. So go watch Go watch Kill Screen if you haven't already. It's good. It's good.
Hell yeah.
See, when I hear stuff like that, I get inspired. I'm like, fuck! Like I've got to think of something.
I have ideas. We're not gonna get into them here. I refuse.
I will give you what I will tell you what idea that I've been thinking of.
Okay. Yes.
And it was heavily inspired by, I don't know if you've been able to catch Marvel's What If.
Yep.
But there is a scene where two individuals are fighting throughout different multiverses.
Yep.
And I was just like, that's awesome. How would you do that in an actual play? Like, how would you do that in, like, to show that level of power in an actual play? And I was just like, what if?
Noir's What If?
What if? And look, this is just a stupid idea, but these are the kind of thoughts I have.
No, this is absolutely where all of this starts.
But what if, in the middle of combat, without mentioning anything, you initiated a raid, and the raid goes to another channel, and the fight is on that other channel.
I'm following.
And it keeps doing, like, I was like, that would be a pretty cool way to use the mechanics of Twitch to show something in the story without having to explicitly state that's what's happening. And I'm like,
the fight would start on critical misses and then go over to friends who roll dice.
Or wherever. And it's just like that. These are the kind of storytelling devices that I think can be used within Twitch to do that. Because if you're an audience member, you see the fucking raid counter going, and it's just like, wait, what is
happening? Where am I going?
You end up on another channel and it's the same fight.
Yes.
I think that it's little stuff like that I think would be really cool.
I think there's potential in this. We can't let this idea go to waste. I have ideas. I
it's
also
a
have
good way
ideas.
to get like collaboration working between channels.
Yeah.
I
have ideas, Noir, and I think you know one of them.
I'm going to be very excited to talk to you about it. But I mean, imagine like, okay, like we were just talking about Kill Screen. So like, imagine like in the middle of the fight, we go over to Roll's channel and Kill Screen is happening. And the raid happens, new overlay change. The kill screen team still on the overlay, and I feel like there's a way where we can all start to commingle and exist and tell a bigger, grander story. I don't know. I just it's just
there. I think it's there. It's doing something ambitious. Using you said using the tools that we are limited to, and telling a greater, grander story, and engaging the audience in a way they haven't been engaged with before.
Right.
I think it's possible.
My producer brain is worrying now. I'm like, logistically, how do you work this out? How do you figure this out? Like, how do you get people to show, like, switching overlays is fine, but like when you have,
how do you get people to show from one stream to another?
One Zoom call to another Zoom call, or one like thing to another thing. You need like.
But that's just it. I feel like we need to start asking more what if questions, because there are people that are smart enough to figure out how to find the answers. But I feel like I went to LA and I talked to a bunch of people and a bunch of like, a lot of people studios and a bunch of other like people that we would consider having made it. And one of the things that is consistent is just like, I think one of the downsides to what Critical Role has done is that they set up such an efficient working standard.
Yes.
That nobody's asking, like, how can we fuck with this? And I want us to start fucking with it as a collective.
I agree with you there. There's there are ways to do what you're talking about that theoretically, and I know would work. Practically, I don't have like an electrical engineering degree. I don't have like a communications degree or computer science degree. People who have that knowledge can tell me I'm wrong, but conceptually it's possible. And I have an idea on how. I just don't want anyone to steal it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, I want to be the first one to do it. Like,
can I tell you something about that though? Like, here's what I've discovered. Every time I've gone on Twitter and gone, hey, here's a really cool idea I have. Without fail, somebody will go, hey, I had that idea too. We should collaborate. Or, oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to do that. Or 3, I'm just going to take that idea from you.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those people, all 3 of those types of people never come through. Never. Yeah. Because having an idea is the easiest part of any process.
Mm-hmm.
It's the follow through that separates the people doing it from the people dreaming about doing it.
And I want to put out there, sort of to tack onto that there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But if that becomes a pattern, if that becomes just your entire identity, I don't. That's where that becomes annoying. That's where that becomes problematic. Being able to say, like, I really like this idea, I'd like to try it out, and then trying it out but not saying anything about it and having nothing to show for it. That's you don't owe anyone anything in that regard. I like it when there's a fourth person to that too, a fourth faction, if you will. That when you put an idea out into the universe, someone comes in and says, I have tried that and I failed. That is the ideal person to comment on that, because then you can ask them how it failed, why it failed, and maybe they would be open to collaboration. Sometimes you'll get someone saying, you've got all these ideas and this is why they're not going to work. But you also have time and experience, and technology and new stuff is always coming out to make things work better. And maybe those tools exist now and that person just has put that on the shelf.
I got to tell you, like, that I mean, you handled that fourth person a lot better than I did. Like, a while ago now.
Mhm.
I posted like I wanted to do like a D&D Dr. Ruth type show
Mhm.
where I would play a character who talks to, D&D adventurers and offers them advice like, Dear Anne or whatever.
Yeah.
And on that post, I had a bunch of people like, somebody already did this, or like, I already had this idea, and like, I got those messages, and I was like, man, I don't even want to fucking do this if like people have already done it, and
Mhm.
like I was down in the dumps for a while until like
Was
somebody
annoying.
was just like, hey man, just fucking do it. And then I was
Because
like, okay.
well, I mean, did you end up doing it though? Like,
Yeah.
because you said it
Yeah.
was such a long time ago. Okay.
It was a while ago. It was a show called Dr. RPG.
Mhm.
It was on Encounter Roleplay for a little bit,
Which
and
is now Weave the Tale.
Yeah, we did like 2 seasons of it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think people liked it. I just kind of got burnt out on it.
That's fair. Yeah.
But
I mean,
I was
that's
I was glad that I fucking did it. Like, it was the first show that I ever took from like, I would like to do this to I did this, and I think that feeling gets addictive.
Yeah.
And I think that like a good 20% of the people that are just dreamers, if they just took that jump and went from I dreamt it to I did it,
yes,
they would get addicted and make more shit.
I know you know this, so this is less for you and this is more for whoever this might benefit in chat, whoever's watching this later in the VOD. If you get that sort of experience where you say what Noir went through, where you say, I have this idea, I want to try it, and people just say someone else did it, or or it's not going to work because of this, and this. I'm going to tell you what I tell the students that I work with. That was their experience. That was what that was a result of what they had put into it. You are a different person, and you have something else to offer on the table. And that is powerful in and of itself. This will be yours. This is not theirs. That was their failure. Make your own failure. Learn from them if you must. But I can, like you said, just go from the dream and turn it into a do.
I mean, and if I could add just a little bit to that, maybe the reason they failed is because they were missing the secret ingredient, and that secret ingredient is you. Like, maybe the idea wasn't for them. Like, I can't tell you how many people have written songs and they've just kind of been, eh. But then somebody covers that song and it's like, oh shit. Like, like, that's sometimes the missing ingredient is you. So like, if you see somebody that's just like, well, I tried this thing and I failed, you know.
So think about it like this. Do you really think that Critical Role was the first production to be like, hey, what if we showed our D&D group to people on the internet or people on TV or people have other people watch it? No. If Matt Mercer was like, oh, someone else did it, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna have this happen. We wouldn't get Critical Role. We wouldn't get Dimension 20. They did it their way and succeeded. You could do that. Just do that. Do it your way. And if you fail, you fail. You're wiser for it.
And
if it dies, it dies.
If we could go even deeper into it, like, sometimes with you being the secret ingredient, that might not necessarily be your talent.
Yeah,
it might be the people that you know, the connections that you have, the resources that you have access to that the other person didn't have access to. There are so many things that make you beyond just what you're able to do. Your entire life story, the hands you've shaken, the bridges you've burned, and the things that you've collected, that's all part of what makes you who you are.
What you bring to the table.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, even if you do start up something and it's not your talent that kicks in, maybe you have a conversation with your friend. And I am speaking from personal experience with this, so bear with me. Maybe you just talk to your friend and you go, I've put this thing together and like real talk, it sucks. And they're like, you mind if I hop in? And then they hop in and then boom, that's what was missing. It's all part of it. Like everything that makes you, your connections, everything, resources, everything. That's all part of the sauce that somebody else couldn't have had access to.
Yep. I've seen this go around on Twitter very recently. Someone else's success is not your failure. Someone else's failure is also not your failure. Right?
Exactly.
Go out and do something. Go out and do stuff. Shit. I know so many, all the people in chat right now have ideas. Go make it, go do them.
And fuck it, if you fall on your face, then you've also learned something.
Yeah.
Like this is going to sound Malcolm. This is going to sound slightly evil.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I'm familiar with that.
Somebody else's failure is also a potential success for you.
Yeah.
Like somebody else's failure is also an opportunity. Like and that's why I'll never understand these people that, you know, if somebody goes on Twitter, they're like, hey, well, I had that idea. Okay. Great. Are you going to do anything with it? No. Well, I'm going to do something with it. Well, you can't do something with it. It was my idea.
That sentiment.
You had the idea and you failed to follow through.
You're right. That sentiment.
You left it on the table.
That's very. I was going to say that's very superior Spider-Man of you.
You know, hey, you know, it's time to cast the die.
Sometimes you play the villain.
I mean, if you don't put any effort into it, you can't just sit on a gold mine forever until it dies. It's just like, okay, an idea is like 2% of the work. You clearly aren't willing to do. Do
you know how many people are out there trying to get jobs as the idea man or the idea guy? Too many white dudes. Don't be better than that.
CJ, your idea is up for grabs, nerd, and I'm a claw machine.
That claw. But I mean, like, I can't tell you how many times.
Oh,
the
post that I had about consulting for GMs. I had so many dudes like, I'm going to steal this idea. I'm going to steal this idea. If you aren't creative enough, I'm sorry, this might be a hot take, but if you aren't creative enough to come up with your own idea, are you creative enough to follow through with someone else's?
Oh, shit. Put that on a shirt.
Well, I mean, I can't think of many things that have been said that deserve gunshots as much as that one. So we just cut up. Emotional damage.
I have a soundboard too.
Let's go. But yeah, like, don't steal people's ideas, obviously. But if they stop at having an idea and doing nothing, I mean,
yeah. If the idea is just the idea,
like, wouldn't it be cool if?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So what you're doing is taking inspiration from the idea. You're not stealing someone's product. You're not stealing someone's creation. Mm-hmm. The idea is just kind of there, you know.
Yeah.
But make it your own.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. So many contradictory things going on right now, but you know, don't be a shitty person, but also follow your dreams, do stuff.
Yeah.
And fuck everybody that gets in your way. No, and never aspire for somebody else's success. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah.
I can't tell you how many. I need to choose my words carefully here. I can't tell you how many productions I've been a part of where the head of that production was like, we want to be the next Critical Role. If you aim to be the next Critical Role, then you've already failed. And what I mean by that is I know for a fact, actually, it is very cool to be able to say that not ever in Dimension's entire history did they go, we want to be Critical Role.
Yeah.
And now they're Dimension 20. Do you see the lesson here? If you go, I want to be me, and I want to be as successful as possible.
I want to be me, and I want to do me shit.
That gives
you will be successful.
So much more power than if you go, I want to be them, because that means that your cap, that your stop, is whatever success that they hit. And you don't want that. Be better than people. Like, it's like that Kendrick bar. I got respect for everybody in the game, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. I want everybody to win, but I want to win the hardest.
The Black Panther.
We're getting the
comic
buzz
strip.
again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I was just about to reference that comic strip. Black Panther is facing the guy, and the guy goes, "I've trained my entire life to defeat you." And T'Challa goes, "Then you've already failed." I've trained my entire life to beat the unknown. Like, it's like, well, fuck you, dude.
Yes. Comics are cool, y'all. Comics create moments. Comics are also wild and come up with the worst stuff. But it's it's cool to be able to reference that and have it apply to real life.
Yes.
Oh.
And also T'Challa now has Superman powers in the comic books, and I'm super duper excited.
Oh my god, yes. I haven't been following, but yes. Also, T'Challa has $90 trillion, so.
And Superman powers, like, that's I mean, if you're gonna fucking, whoo. Marvel said Black Lives Matter, goddamn.
Yeah, how is racism still a thing in the Marvel universe? Like, even with those two pieces on T'Challa.
I think racists gave up on hating on black folks, and they just focus on mutants now. They're like, this T'Challa guy, he's wild.
The allegories. The social commentary. Oh no. No,
listen.
Ether rich, but T'Challa's the one exception.
Nah, it's that Wesley Snipes meme, him pointing the gun with tears in his eyes. There are no exceptions. Ether rich. I'll put Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on them as a sign of respect. We should ask another question. If you were God Emperor of the TTRPG community for one day, with a snap of your fingers, you can make companies disappear, and with just a whim, you can make them reappear with as much money as you want them to have. What do you do in one day?
I mean, I've already said like 3 revolutionary things on my time here so far. So
let's just keep the streak going.
Yeah. So what's another? So I work at a university, so I'm very plugged into like the way education is going and all that stuff. So I think this answer is going to be more about what can I change about education through TTRPG than I can about the TTRPG industry by itself. I think you can learn so much by playing TTRPGs. I think if it were me, snap of a finger, build TTRPGs into the educational curriculum from as soon as you can understand roleplay. As soon as you can understand roleplay, have people learn empathy, have people learn math, creative writing, critical thinking skills at that early age, and then follow through with that all the way through doctorates and grad degrees and universities. Because if we do that, if we introduce the idea of TTRPGs and role play in the classroom. Then we get people who are empathetic, people who can see beyond their own perspective. And I think that's a very basic building block to making this world unfucked.
You know, I've
All
had
the
a
educators
thought.
in chat are coming out of the woodwork at this point.
Yeah, that's right. I see you, Nikki.
I've had a thought, and as an educator, I would love to know what you think about this.
Okay.
Which is, I know people that know more about Barovia than they do the United States.
Oh no. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That live in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to fucking say. I think that history could be taught with modules.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, do you know how frustrating it is for somebody to be able to tell me the insides and out of Castle Raven, whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah.
But they don't know about Tulsa. Oh, they don't know about Tulsa.
This is like a high school course, right? Where you teach history through TTRPG. You have, and again, if we scaffold this, if we build this from the ground up, then you have teachers who are, have built the curriculum around education and empathy and not white supremacy. So we get history books that allow for people to engage in what happened in a safe manner, but also bring in perspectives that would have existed back then. Like, can you imagine a TTRPG? This is an idea that someone's gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Can you imagine a TTRPG of like Watergate and having that be like a heist, you know, or a murder mystery-esque style of that same event?
You decolonize
Okay.
it in the best way.
Yeah.
So here's a TTRPG idea that I've had in the back pocket.
Let's go.
It's called Fix Point. And the entire point of the game is that you have to navigate from one part of the module to the next part of the module during historic events without
God.
altering it because it's a fixed point in time.
Yes.
So you're witnessing historic events, but you cannot intercede. And so knowledge of the events will be gained by like trial and error. You
enter a phase where it's creative thinking, critical thinking, where someone, your players have the agency, but they also have these restrictions. We talked about restrictions before, to accomplish a goal. It engages a part of the brain that we don't exercise enough. If we had to, man, I'm gonna list off. The only things coming to mind are tragedies.
Well, here's the example that I have, and maybe you can lead off of it.
Okay.
Which is like the Archduke Ferdinand's assassination.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Like, if your character is in the street at the wrong time, and you force that car to turn, you fuck the fixed point in time, and you take damage, and then whoop, you got to go back and figure out what you did wrong that changed it. And so that would involve learning about, oh, that car belonged to somebody important, and then trying to figure out who that car belonged to, and you're learning about Archduke Ferdinand and the repercussions of it.
And then it stays in your mind because you've experienced it. You don't read about it and then forget it immediately after the exam in 2 weeks.
Exactly. It's time to start a tabletop education company. Somebody show me how to do it.
So yeah, Scholastic Dragon, you bring this up. I'm doing all the plugs. Creators Assemble. Dan Wood partners with educators to do this kind of thing, to bring TTRPGs to an educational setting. I I think there is so much power behind that. I think we should be funding these things. I think we should be expanding this. And that is what I would do with the TTRPG stuff, because everything else falls into line after that. People have talked about having studios out in the Midwest, East Coast, the way Critical Role and Dimension 20 do. It's not all on the West Coast in LA. If people have grown up with this sort of educational background in TTRPGs, you know for sure we would have entire Hollywood level studios all over the world.
I mean, we have so many amazing examples of how to do something like this. Like the movie Timeline, it wasn't a great movie, but it showed like, you know, here people going back in time and witnessing an event and whatever. And like there's no reason we can't apply that same concept to an educational experience at the TTRPG table and do so in a respectful way.
Yeah.
You know?
And we're talking about this as if it's restricted to humanities. It's not.
Mm-mm.
TTRPGs, more like we have what I like to call, and I forget who taught me this, crunchy systems, and then creamy systems. Creamy systems are like, you know, like peanut butter, less number intensive, less mathematics. But then you have all the statistics, all the probability. You can take that and apply it to math. You can apply it to science. You can apply it to so many different things. And it's all right there in TTRPGs. I started playing TTRPGs because it's such an intersection of all the different things I love. Mm-hmm. Math, role play, fantasy, science fiction, all these different things that I grew up loving, all in one little neat package. And we can take that and deliver that package to education.
Also use it to learn things like coding, if then,
yes,
TTRPGs. Like science, logic, and deduction.
If you had any doubt that I was a nerd before, prior to this, there shouldn't be any doubt now, because of how I think about TTRPGs and placing it in an educational setting. I'm not talking about school setting, because school is its own thing, but education. Nikki talked about it. I think there's like therapy for kids through TTRPGs, through role play. That is an education. That is where you learn about who you are and how you interact with the world. That is education. It doesn't have to be restricted to classrooms, but I think it has a place in the classroom. We should be doing this. I honestly, that if I was God, TTRPG God,
yeah,
that's the first thing I do, because it fixes so many different things about what is wrong and what I would love to see happen in the TTRPG space. It starts with education.
Yeah, I've that would be so fucking cool.
We're at about an hour and a half into the show. Do we want to take a quick 10-minute break and
Sure.
swing back with the second half of the show?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. We're gonna take a break. Y'all get up, stretch, go
watch the Gotham Knights trailer.
Go watch the Gotham Knights trailer.
And then tweet at me and tell me I'm wrong about it.
All right, we're gonna start
with
the promo for libations, and then we'll get into our promo videos. But yeah, we will be back in about 10 minutes. See you soon.
Back, love you.
Bye.
Rest at my threshold.
And we're back. Hi, everybody.
Butts and boo. Oh shit.
Butts. What's butts?
Hold on. No, see, like during break, we were having a conversation about like how does it feel having Moon Knight be the first superhero from Chicago, and I'm like, I thought I don't know why I thought Blade was from Chicago. Blade is actually from Detroit, Michigan.
I think it's because we wanted to so much to let go of Bobbert Kelly from Chicago that we needed to fill the space with something else.
I have actually found the list of superheroes from Chicago though, and it's pretty badass.
I just the two names that you shared, I'm like, okay, Maria
Hill is from Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nightwing, Dick Grayson from Chicago. The Question is from
the
Chicago.
Question's from Chicago. That makes sense.
He is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hank McCoy, Beast from Chicago. Blue Beetle from Chicago. Kitty Pryde is from Chicago.
See, here's the thing about Kitty Pryde is
Which
I
Blue
always
Beetle?
think that Kitty Pryde is Canadian because the person that inspired her, the actual person that I've worked with and know named Kitty Pryde, is from Calgary.
Oh.
Well, I did not know this, but now I'm glad that I learned it. Johnny Blaze is a stunt motorcyclist from Waukegan, Illinois. Arguably the coolest looking comic book character creation. Ghost Rider is from Chicago.
This information is going to be so cool, so handy when I finally make it out to Chicago.
You see Ghost Rider riding around.
That's pretty stacked for Chicago. Like in either universe.
Pretty
That's
much.
pretty. If Chicago ever like is besieged, you're just gonna get a lot of hometown heroes coming back and kicking whoever's ass is.
That's what I'm talking
starting
about.
shit.
We need more of that. Blue Knight, of course, is also from Chicago. But yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I would look up any other town, but no other city is quite as important to me as Chicago. So you have to Google it on your own. Welcome to the second half of our show. It's called The Dark Roast, which is supposed to be a much darker, where we talk about much darker subjects.
Yes.
Sees Ghost Rider rolling down the streets. Yep, that's Chicago. I feel like more stories should take place in Chicago because New York is played out. But let's jump right back in to some of our TTRPG conversation.
We're moving. Yeah.
Moving and shaking. Let's go.
If you can't tell, I'm hugely distracted by looking up these lists. So
How do you still have the tab open?
Because, man, ADHD.
That's true. Yes, I feel this. I respect you for
Milwaukee has its own team of Marvel superheroes.
I mean, the alliteration is there. Milwaukee Marvels.
That's disgusting. You got a bunch of superheroes in fucking Milwaukee.
The Brewers.
I didn't even know that.
I went to a Brewers game one time. So my hometown's San Francisco. And at the time there was a dude whose hometown is San Francisco playing on the Brewers team, and they were here for a game against the Giants. I felt so bad for this dude getting booed by his own town. I like, there was a dude next to me booing. I'm like, dude's just trying to get paid. I looked over, like I said that out loud, and the guy was like, "Oh," went back to his hot dog. But I felt I don't remember who it was. I should have. But it was so heartbreaking when that dude went up to bat for the first time and got booed by his own city. I'm legit starting to tear up thinking about it.
It's mean.
Yeah, and the mob mentality. Okay, that's all I will say about that. It's just, oof, man.
We did something like that once. Derrick Rose was not playing really well for us, and then got traded to the Knicks. And then we. Not me. I wasn't in the crowd. I was booing from home.
You sent your boo energy into the spirit bomb that was in the stadium. That's just as bad. You booed him from home.
I booed him from home, and like they played in Chicago, and he got booed. But then we made up for it. We did make up for it.
Uh-huh.
He got traded to the Milwaukee Timberwolves, and overcame his injuries, the same injuries that stopped him from being amazing.
Did you cheer him on from home too?
Yeah, I did. I shared Facebook posts. You know, the home boo is just as powerful. Yeah. I don't believe that. I believe that the home boo is diluted a little bit.
You're still sending that energy out into the universe, though. Listen.
No matter how bad Chicago is, we're not Philadelphia. They booed Santa. They booed Santa and threw snowballs and beer at Santa.
Well, I mean, what do you expect from the city that invented gritty?
I need more context to this. Was the person playing Santa a douchebag, or
no? He was. They
were booing him because Santa.
You can look this up on YouTube.
I have a watch list for right after this conversation.
Fucking booed the shit out of Santa. Are we talking about Philly, nigga? Yeah. Are you, CJ, you from Philly? You tell Kappa, y'all are the worst.
Yeah. So please educate me on why it was necessary to boo Santa, Father Christmas.
A man who does nothing but bring joy to children.
They threw beers at
him. I think it would be more insulting to throw Coca-Cola cans at him. Like, at this point.
We didn't talk about the robot that got jumped too.
The robot that was traveling the country, right? I remember that.
Philly
what did that Santa do to upset you so bad? I am all for.
Just a halftime Santa, and they wanted to get back to football. So
what?
So they fucking skunked his ass with the beer. Because Philly don't fuck around.
That's heinous, right there. That is petty. That is small.
Listen, they destroyed their town when their team won the Super Bowl. Philly is full of monsters.
If Santa never comes back to Philly, it'll be too soon. Y'all are getting coal forever.
I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Are these motherfuckers really beating up Santa?"
Oh my god! Oh, is Philly just that much Jewish? Is that what's going on here? Because I would understand.
They're different denominations.
I get back to sports. that was the sentiment. Just get back to sports. What if Santa participated in the game? Would that be okay? Would that?
I'm assuming this was football. Yeah.
Do we issue?
Listen, whenever a story takes place, it is Philly sports fans doing some wild, heinous shit. It's the Philadelphia Eagles fans that are doing it because these are motherfucking monsters, and I respect them for that.
It's Philadelphia. The birds that they're good. That's what
Philadelphia
Santa caught the game-winning touchdown. You're fine. It's the only way Santa can redeem himself.
They had Santa looking like Denzel Washington at the end of Training Day, just getting rocked by snowballs.
Philadelphia, the fans in that crowd saw football around the world and was like, we could do better. Soccer fans around the world, and was like, we can match that. We can beat that.
Listen. I have an article up right now about this. The reason that this happened is because the Eagles were getting dusted. They were just getting worked. So halftime comes around and they're frustrated.
They needed an outlet.
Holly Jolly Santa comes out to wish them a Merry Christmas. and this is a quote from somebody that attended. That was the only fun part of the game, and everybody joined in. Fathers, sons, and even old ladies. That guy had it coming. I still remember the song. Here comes Santa Claus. Boom, got him. Hey, it was just the thing to do at the time. No big deal. Fuck Philadelphia. These motherfuckers are evil. And I love it.
Welcome to the Dark Roast, everybody.
It was the thing to do at the time. Oh my God. All right. Okay.
This man said everybody joined in. Fathers, sons, and even old ladies.
I want
ladies.
I want the documentary movie of this event.
He said Santa came out to sing the song and got fucking obliterated. Can you imagine being that?
Your job
Here
is
comes Santa Claus.
Hey, that's a good remix. Philly fans.
I mean,
batteries?
it could just be that
Santa
wasn't reading the room.
What? Okay.
Man was just doing a job.
I
Santa, you better take that Holly Jolly shit somewhere. This is not the time.
I want to interview that Santa.
Did you listen, Chris Crinkle?
I want to create a podcast just so that I can have that dude on, like, so I can ask him questions about what happened.
It was the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and the final score was 24-17.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even that bad a blowout.
No,
it was in 1968.
Okay. I love this.
Okay. Did
I
this
love this
happen
and I
at
hate this.
halftime?
I think so, yeah.
It was tied 7-7. What the fuck was the deal?
It wasn't a good game.
We're not winning. We're not winning. This is not this.
Unfortunately,
we
can
are
no longer
frustrated.
interview Santa.
The only answer is to take out Mr. Christmas with a battery in hand. I have found my true calling.
Batteries in the snowball.
It's 1968.
Well, you don't even know what to dodge. Just get lit up. Oh God.
Let's have this be a TTRPG module.
But okay, here's the deal, though. Eagles public relations director at the time, Jim Gallagher, said that Olivo, who played Santa, was the worst looking Santa I'd ever seen. Bad suit, scraggly beard. I'm not even sure if he was drunk, but he appeared to be. However, Olivo contested the costume was high quality, he was not drunk, and conceded that his fake beard was poor quality.
Oh wait, no, time out. Do you mean to tell me that the city of Philadelphia tried to blame Santa because of how he was dressed?
Oh shit!
Look at how he dressed.
Though
I can't with this fucking city.
Philly, I'm really excited for PAX U because
I will say that the Eagles gifted Olivo football-shaped cufflinks and a tie tack in a gift of appreciation for his services.
That's it?
The
Are you kidding
incident
me?
did not immediately receive much attention, with little mention of it being given to the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Bulletin. However, the incident gained national infamy after being mentioned by Howard Cosell on the ABC Weekend Report. With the incident being featured in lieu of game highlights.
Oh my God. Like that dude really needed more than just cufflinks. Remember when I said reality can be stranger than fiction? I did not realize how strange it could get. Philadelphia,
okay,
please.
I want to read this story from the Wikipedia article just real quick. Olivo appeared at the underbelly of Franklin Field to the song Here Comes Santa Claus, alongside a 50-piece band and Eagles cheerleaders dressed as elves. He was supposed to appear on a large Christmas float featuring 8 life-sized fiberglass reindeer, but the float got stuck in the mud.
And that was the last straw.
So Olivo was forced to appear in the Christmas pageant on foot. In place of carrying a Santa sack, Olivo carried an equipment bag filled with soggy towels.
Okay.
Like, the more I'm hearing about it, the more I'm kind of like, you know what, Philly? I might have had a point.
PA announcer goes through his big thing. Here comes Santa. Let's give Santa a big rousing welcome. Philadelphia welcome. And well, all hell broke loose.
They waited for their cue.
If I ever enter
Santa
Philadelphia,
shot first, though, because Olivo began the appearance by throwing candy canes to fans. But when he reached the end zone, fans started booing and throwing snowballs at him.
So you mean Santa shot first by giving them candy?
And they didn't like it. Anyways, and then they started throwing beer bottles and hoagies.
They
the
whole sandwich.
The hoagies I'm down for.
They threw
The hoagies I'm
cheesesteaks
down
at
for.
Santa.
I'll catch a battery in the face for a hoagie. Like,
Olivo suspects that he was
how mad do you have to be?
Anyways.
How mad do you have to be to go fuck this sandwich that I paid $5 for?
Welcome to Morning Ritual, a show about TTRPGs.
That is the nexus point in our reality that I want to explore. What would happen if Philadelphia didn't throw hoagies at Santa Claus?
Like, they're renowned for that. Like, they're famous for that. They fucking assassinated Santa.
I keep trying to calm myself down, but then I just catch the image in my mind of a mall Santa walking out into the end zone and getting pegged in the back of the head.
Okay, that sounds like an improvised weapon. I'm gonna need you to roll your attack, please. It's a cold shot, right? You wanted it.
I have proficiency in nature. Can I use that to mold the snow into something more effective?
Maybe.
I'm from Philly.
Anyways.
Santa is all of Philly's favorite enemy.
Everyone in Philadelphia has a level in Ranger with a favorite enemy.
Santa didn't realize that Philadelphia is real pro-elf union.
It was just elves dressed as Philly fans.
Like, see, it's little stuff like that you gotta put into your world building to make you just.
This is now a thing. This is now a thing that exists in every single TTRPG roleplay world. It just different flavors, different.
Yeah.
And you might never ever interact with it, but it happened.
The local sports ball team.
Yeah.
Had an incident.
Annihilated a holiday icon.
A cleric of Lathander. Just.
May his blessings be upon.
Can you imagine?
Just Strahd in the fucking crowd, lined up this cleric with snowballs. Not a Barovia, motherfucker! Not a Barovia!
Brennan Lee Mulligan in EXU introduces a scene where a paladin of the Dawnfather walks out dressed as the Dawnfather and catches the rocks to the back of the head in the middle of Westrun. Oh my god.
Wait, for real?
No, that's the ideal situation.
I was about to be
that's
like,
the ideal situation.
I was gonna be like, we know where he got that from.
That one's free. Go ahead and take that. Brennan.
We'll DM Brennan. We'll just let him know. Listen, this is a plot you gotta insert at some point.
Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious. Okay.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
That was a tangent that we didn't expect, but I think it was one that we needed.
This is it. We brought it back. We made content out of it. We made TTRPG content out of it. It was
if
worth
you're
it.
in Barovia and you're going to see your local game of whatever the fuck they play in fucking Faerun or wherever the fuck the official D&D world takes place, and you see Strahd throwing things at this fucking holiday mascot, you gonna throw shit back.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fucking let Strahd be the only one throwing snowballs.
Oh,
or
man.
does he want to be the? Oh, that's a dangerous game right there.
Fucking. Oh my god. We got what is this?
We went right into the weeds and like we're in the tall grass and there's some random wild Pokemon that are coming up to beat us up.
This is my favorite Saturday so far.
Oh my god. I'm also glad, but I'm just, oh god, I really want to write this into a game now. Like there's the big BBEG just starts throwing snowballs and sandwiches at this holiday mascot. What do you do?
Like an insight check, please.
There's literally there's a whole Wikipedia article devoted to this event, and
yes, there's video footage. I'm telling y'all,
we should be covering this in classes, like in history.
I know
classes.
three things about Philadelphia. One, the cheesesteak is actually really good. Two, apparently these motherfuckers.
Now you've got this one as the last one.
That's on purpose. We know.
I realized what I did, and I doubled down and committed. Two, these motherfuckers don't know how to take care of a bell. And three, do not be Santa in Philadelphia.
do not be Santa. Do not be a bell.
Don't be Santa, a robot, or a bell in Philadelphia. Things will not work out for you.
You are fucked.
Noir's walking a fine line, says CJ.
Listen, I started it off with a compliment. The Philly cheesesteak actually lives up to the hype. Now, like when I go to a place, the first thing that I do is I try to find the thing that they talk the most shit about and then shit on it. And so the first thing I did when I went to Philadelphia, I was like, get me a Philly cheesesteak right now.
so I can hate on it.
So I can tweet about how this is trash. And then I ate it. I'm like, fuck, that's pretty fire.
I do this too, but I also get a lot of people visiting like California and stuff, and San Francisco, and just being like, hey, you're from California. In-N-Out sucks. I'm like,
it does.
I respect your opinion, but just you don't need to tell me about it. That's what you lead with. There are too many conversations where people have just been like, I don't like In-N-Out. Okay, great.
No, see, okay, now I'm on the other side of this. Like, I want to agree with you, but every time a hamburger conversation comes up, there's some Californian somehow, somewhere that'll just pop up and be like, In-N-Out's good. No, it's not. No, it's not. I denounce
those people. Those are the very vocal minority. Most people in California are just like In-N-Out's burger. That's it.
I'm glad that you fucking the way you like. I went at Matt last week about it. I was just like, In-N-Out sucks. He's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, I've been here for a while, so it's just like it's what we got.
In-N-Out's open at until 1 a.m. Where else are you gonna go for your burger?
White Castle.
We don't got that here.
Oh, no, wait, what? I thought White Castles were everywhere.
No. We got In-N-Out.
I'm so sorry.
We got In-N-Out, and I will eat In-N-Out at 1 a.m.
It's so gross. I did the animal style fries.
I love meat. It's fast food. What do you expect? People who
I expect the same level of fast food in California that I have in Chicago. The fast food in Chicago is wildly better than
The Vienna beef
I
hot
look
dogs.
forward to it. I look forward to
Polish.
it.
yes.
Pork chop
I will
sandwiches.
I will change your life.
Please
With
change my
me,
life.
and you'll see a world of high blood pressure
If I-
dummies.
If I go to Chicago right now, right? It's it is currently around
12,
noon,
20.
just after noon, just
Yeah.
after noon 20, if you will.
Yes.
Where would we go? Where would we be getting?
I'm
food
taking
from?
you to Portillo's.
Portillo's.
First and foremost.
Okay.
And that's like entry level. That's like
Entry.
baby's
Okay,
first.
that's
Baby's first
baseline.
Chicago fast food.
That is where I
it's
build
like-
the rest of the narrative.
Mhm.
yeah, that's like listen. Portillo's is
cake
good. It's not our best, but it's good.
Where
And
is
like-
what is Portillo's in terms like cuisine wise?
Portillo's is a hot dog burger joint.
I'm in.
We have Italian beefs. Oh,
I'm ordering
got-
a hot dog and a burger.
You're also going to want to get a cake shake.
I've heard about this cake shake. I didn't realize it was Portillo's.
yeah. They take a slice of cake and then they put it in a
Yes.
cup.
Legendary.
It's
Mm,
I don't like chocolate though, so I don't like cake shakes.
I'm in.
So-
I'm still in. I'm gonna try it.
If you just have a slice of the cake,
Ooh,
I cried the first time I had the cake.
you cried?
Yeah,
Was it that? So it was that good?
it was that
Yes.
good. It reminded
Okay.
me of like the cake that I had for my birthdays as a child.
Oh, can you just buy an individual cake
Yeah,
from them?
you can
Yeah.
buy a whole
Okay.
cake.
Okay.
You,
It's like
do you
20
think
bucks.
do you think your cake in your childhood was just a Portillo's cake?
No, because I'm not from
Okay.
Chicago.
So
Oh,
So-
wait, this is not
so-
so this is strictly a Chicago chain. It's not like a
yeah, well,
Like a Midwest
apparently they
thing.
have one in California from what I hear, but
Yeah, he bit me.
yeah, it's mainly a Chicago chain. And the secret is it doesn't taste like Anita's birthday cakes. That's a misconception. What they do is they cast a spell on it, and so it tastes like your favorite memory.
Oh,
It's true.
I'm glad that they figured out how to do that because
Yeah.
I feel like they could do a lot with that, but instead they decide to make a shake out of it.
Yeah, we're very simple folk here in Chicago.
I understand it requires a lot of components and you can only sustain it for one menu item.
Between that, like Polish sausages with like the mustard and the grilled onions.
Oh, they stopped serving.
I'm getting
um,
hungry and like.
I know, same. It's around that time for me too. Like, like brunch wise, they stopped having onions and sauerkraut and stuff for the Costco hot dogs,
Ah,
and it almost broke me.
Who the fuck puts sauerkraut on a goddamn hot dog?
I do.
me too.
Bring it.
Fucking, you
Sauerkraut,
fucking
some
savages!
good mustard.
Oh, deli
The-
mustard.
The
Oh
good
my
deli
God.
mustard.
Give me the probiotics. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'll have the sauerkraut by itself too. Like
No, you don't put sauerkraut on a fucking hot dog. You fucking
I
savage.
will do it. I will do it. I will maintain eye contact with you while doing it.
Ew, don't.
I will go to Portillo's and
no,
ask
no,
for sauerkraut
no.
if they've got it.
If you go to Portillo's and ask for sauerkraut on a hot dog, every person that works there is gonna fuck you up. The only thing you can do that's worse than that is go to Portillo's and ask them to put ketchup on a hot dog.
I think
Yeah.
the worst the only thing worse that I could do other than that is walk out into the end zone dressed in a Santa suit in Philadelphia.
Full circle. We did it, friends.
We brought it back.
I can't take this life anymore. You just put the fucking Don't worry.
You don't put
do it.
ketchup.
still
You
got
don't put
things-
ketchup on a Chicago dog.
I'm sorry. Who? No, CJ. No. No. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog.
I feel like Is that like a bait? Is that a bait going on right there? Is that?
It might be a bait.
That's bait.
Okay.
Here's what you put on a hot dog, okay? You either put mustard and grilled onions on a hot dog.
Love it.
Or you put relish,
Mhm.
pickles,
Yes.
onions,
Yes.
mustard,
100%.
celery salt.
Tomatoes.
All the time.
I don't like tomatoes
I like tomatoes.
on a hot dog.
All of this,
Don't forget the sport
I'm
pepper.
down for.
Oh, and the sports pepper. Well, you put that on the side, and then you could choose if you want it. But no ketchup. Never ketchup. Never ever ketchup.
I feel like in that situation, I wouldn't put ketchup because that would ruin the structural integrity of everything else that's going on.
The interesting thing about Chicago dogs is I don't like raw onions, but I like them on Chicago dogs.
I like
Because it's magic.
It's interesting.
I am so hungry. Ask me a
I know, I'm
TTRPG
starving.
question
Let's talk about TTRPGs
because
again. Let's move it back.
my
Hey.
mouth is so
Hey.
like
What D&D race do you think has the best food?
hobbits, halflings, right? Like canonically?
I'm gonna go orc. I feel like orc barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Orc
beef,
barbecue
grilled
would be
meat
that
heavy.
shit.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I feel like halflings kill it on the sides.
Mhm.
Like
Halflings would make real good breakfast.
It's all sides. It's like Korean dishes. It's all
I
sides.
don't know why, but I feel like halflings got the best oatmeal. Like that's always been in my head. Like, man, I want some halfling oatmeal,
Halfling
real
oatmeal.
fucking bad. Like, oh,
Halfling oatmeal. I think okay. Here we go. We got orc barbecue.
yeah,
We got halfling oatmeal, halfling breakfast. I think
halfling breakfast.
Halfling
halfling
breakfast.
breakfast, but featuring oatmeal. I think we got dwarves with the salted meats, anything cured.
Salted meats, and like I feel like they have
Turkeys.
good ciders
Good. Yes.
and
yes.
good ale. Well, actually, maybe I should give cider to the elves.
Mm,
I feel like elves would lean towards mead and cider. You know.
Yeah.
fruit wines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got humans that just kind of mid
Potato
everything.
salad with raisins.
Ew. No, hold on, because they're black humans. All right, what the fuck was that, Anita? God damn.
You can't-
You gonna condemn the entire race
You can't
to y'all
transpose
weak
real
ass
life like
potato
this.
salad? Did you
I
see
know what you were trying to do there.
erasure? Did you see the erasure? This is what we got. Fight. You
Oh
was
my
thinking
God.
of us as orcs, weren't you?
No.
I feel like I wasn't gonna say it, but oh shit, cheeks hurt.
Racist motherfuckers.
Is Anita about to get canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, let me start my tweet longer. I can't believe this shit. Oh god. Only like humans feel seen since a non-human sense.
Oh shit. Oh.
I was just getting at the fact that playing humans is the
You
bland
came in with your whole
choice.
chest with that potato salad comment. I'm sorry, you gotta pay.
So the bland choice as far as fitness.
I covered that with humans mid everything.
Y'all got caught. Our trap worked. Me and CJ been working on this stage operation for 2 years. Now we got him. Got him.
Activated my trap card.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I love you, Anita. I love you. This is thank you for having me on. This is a gift.
Listen. I put pressure on all white people, even my partner. Can't nobody say I don't keep that same energy.
that tweet That tweet exists somewhere.
I'm sure
It's got to be somewhere. Oh man.
I feel like I will agree that humans mid everything, but I will also say that there are some ASMR sprinkled into the humans, and those are the ones that are like the bomb chefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the fusion chefs. Those are the fusion chefs.
Those are the grandmas.
Yeah. Those are the ASMR are the chefs that will cast a spell and make a cake taste like your favorite memory. The ASMR is interesting to me because you said they're the grandma. I think they're the fusion. They're the fusion cooks. You know, because they'll take. I don't know, but
I feel like fusion is either amazing or it's trash.
Well, that's the thing. You have the ASMR that will do the fusion well, and then the humans that will copy that and then mid the fusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reese, I was just about to say tieflings to me are those people that bring the obnoxiously hot sauce.
Ooh, yeah.
Like those are the people that like eat the bomb for fun.
They're the ones that invented the one chip challenge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I see Ouija in chat. Ouija's the only person I know in real life that has actually done the one chip challenge. If you have the chance, go ahead and tweet at Ouija and ask him what that was like.
Yeah. Listen, I've done a bamboozle challenge. I'm done.
Yeah.
I put the bomb hot sauce on a bean boozle and ate it.
I feel like gnomes are your like gastro food scientists.
Oh yeah, I can see that. They make like the little like food this big, but it tastes like it fills you up like a whole meal.
Yeah.
All that. Yo, why do we not like? We need more details in our fucking worlds, man.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of shit that's fun to me. Like, man, like I feel like orc music would bang. I feel like no music would bang.
No, I feel like no music would be the cutting
EDM.
EDM, the cutting edge of electronic music here that you're like, I don't know what this is, but in 3 months everyone's gonna be listening to this.
Oh, I just want to write about different cultures. Like, why don't we have spent so long in the TTRPG hobby just talking about different races in terms of like, these ones are evil, these ones are less than evil, these are the ones that work with the elves, but we don't really know shit about them.
Yeah. And I think that might be by design. I mean, it's meant to be filled in with people's imaginations. It's not meant to be strictly defined. But holy shit, we should be talking about it more and introducing more of this into the space.
Yeah, I mean, like,
there's a D&D cookbook out there.
Right, like I feel like both can exist at the same time, which is like we can have established cultures for each race, as long as we leave the caveat like not all cultures have been discovered, obviously.
Yes.
Like because if you look at the amount of detail that has gone into like drow culture, it's horrible.
Oh yeah.
But they spent books and books and books going into drow culture, and it mainly just to say that these guys are evil just cause. But like, imagine if that same energy went into like explaining like, here's this culture and here's what they like to eat, here's what they've invented, here's how they get on with their environment.
Here are their holidays. I'm just thinking about all the different things.
Yes, the holidays, man.
Yeah, I like actually vehemently have disdain for the fact that we have centered most holidays in Dungeons and Dragons around deities and religion.
Yes.
The only mention of a holiday or a certain day or something happening around this is when the deity did something great, annoys me. Growing up in a religious household and having my entire year schedule revolve around religious holidays, what is upsetting. You have your harvests holidays and whatnot, but I feel like we could do more with that. We could do more with like you said, cultures, food, history, holidays. We can do so much more with it. Music,
and
language.
One of the things is we can also have holidays around the first time an orc met an elf or vice versa, when the cultures met.
Yeah.
And I think we're so in this colonial mindset that we think that whenever two cultures meet, surely there must have been bloodshed. But I kind of want to get into the habit of creating a world where that doesn't happen. Instead, it's a celebration of, oh, hey, you're not like me. That's really cool. Let's celebrate our differences and find where we can merge.
Not enough people are thinking about this this train of thought of there doesn't always have to be conflict. I am guilty of this in a lot of the worlds I build. Most, if not all, cities have had walls, and walls are military construct to keep invaders out. And I'm trying to observe that and change that up in my thinking, because why would a wall exist other than to keep people out? Maybe the walls can still exist, but maybe there's a different reason for it. Maybe it's environmental or something else. Maybe some dude just really wanted a big stone canvas to look at as he's walking throughout the city, and that is the result of the wall. So I don't know. I like and appreciate that that you brought that up of when two different peoples in TTRPG intersect, it's not conflict. It is cause for celebration.
And I mean, to add on top of that, I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with there being conflict. What I really want to get out of the thought process of is equating conflict to violence.
Yes.
I think especially in the world of fantasy, there are so many ways to have conflict and resolve it without death, without if you just take a look at the spell Zone of Truth, it changes everything. How many wars could have been stopped in our own personal history if there was a proven way to force somebody to tell the truth that isn't torture.
Yeah.
It's just, did you do this? If you resist, we know. If it takes effect, we know. So
yeah. We do a lot to conflate conflict and violence in our storytelling, and you see this conversation happen every 2 months, every 8 weeks. You can set your clock to it of people saying oh, I can't have racism in my TTRPG game. The community is collapsing. That's not it. It's the violence. It's the colonialism. It's it's the idea that you can't tell that you want to tell a story that actively harms the players at the table.
Yeah.
We take issue with.
And it's boring. Not only is it harmful, but it's boring. It's shit we've already seen. And whenever somebody brings up the fact that my games need racism, because it's realistic, I always ask, do the Olympics exist in your world? And nobody ever says yes. And the reason that I ask that is I know I'm naive, but I feel like the Olympics represents the best of us in the sense that it is our one attempt to unite. No matter, like, it has its flaws. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it's our attempt. And I think that should be honored as much as you want to honor racism. Like, if you don't have your world at least trying to like come together in a way that isn't violent, to represent each other and to show the best of what the people in your world are, don't fucking talk to me about racism. You're picking and choosing what you want from the real world, and for some reason you want the most horrendous shit. And it's just like, well, racism allows for amazing plot lines. Do you know how many plot lines you could do with a sport competition featuring all the countries of your world? That's more prime for storytelling than anything you can tell me about racism. But you want to really focus on that racism and slavery part. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, similar to you, whenever someone asks me, whenever someone says, tries to justify racism in their D&D campaign, I haven't done this. I haven't asked because one, this is a hypothetical situation where someone has asked me and bothered to talk to me about this stuff, which has never happened in my entire life. But in that situation, I like to think that the discussion opens up to, has everyone does everyone agree to this, and is it just a tool? Is it just a tool for you to perpetuate that behavior, those actions, in a way that you feel allows you to be shitty, Yeah. Because that's what a lot of people do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that on stream. Is the worst part of it.
Well, I've seen that. I've seen that more often and more disturbingly with sexism as well.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And god damn, it's just like, stop. Like, really, just please stop. Like, there's no reason for this. We're talking about a world where magic and dragons exist. Why don't you want to advance society a little bit more? Why don't you want to use some of these magic tools that, like,
I feel sad.
Can racism really exist in a place where alter self is a first level spell?
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my. It's built in at the very basic level, like entry level. It's entry level.
Right.
And I feel sad for those folks that can't imagine a world without ableism, racism. Whenever the TTR, the what's it called, the combat wheelchair comes up, and people go defend it, I feel bad for those folks that can't expand their mind beyond their own lived perspective, because it's not, because one, bullshit. If you're trying to defend yourself by saying, like, this is my perspective, this is my lived experience, someone who encounters disability, that deals with it, the fact that you can't imagine a world where that disability is accommodated for, that is accounted for and thought of, your world is dimmer. And I don't mean that in like your worldview is smaller, and that is terrible. I wish for you to gain perspective.
Like
hypothetical person, not you in here, not any of you in chat, I hope.
It better not be.
Wow.
I mean, if you are in chat
in, god damn it.
If you are in chat and that is you, learn something. If you're watching this VOD, learn something. I don't
have the words to refute this properly. I can just tell you that I fucking hate it, which is whenever the combat wheelchair in particular is brought up, and we talked to the creator of the combat wheelchair, and they spoke far more eloquently about it than I'm about to. But one of the things that's often brought up is that people go, well, in a world with magic, why don't you just fix the disability?
Oh,
And
I hate that so much. Oh my God.
Right. And I don't have the words to properly speak to why fuck you, but fuck you. But it's just, if that's where your mind goes, if that's where your mind goes, but you still have racism in your game, go fuck yourself. Because in one instance, you're like, well, we could use magic to fix it, but you don't want to use magic to try and fix racism in your world. You want to still allow that shit to happen. You don't want to use magic to fix sexism.
Picking and
exactly. It's showing us what you put a value on and what you don't put a value on. And these motherfuckers always tell on themselves. And it's just like, fuck you.
Yeah, just like absolutely.
I really wish I had better words, but that's where I'm at.
Those words are eloquent enough, because
go step on a Lego. Holy shit.
Then fuck you works just fine.
By the way, Combat Wheelchair by Mustang. Mustang's art.
Yeah, Sarah's great.
Please go if you're unfamiliar how, but Google. Just go look that shit up.
I will also have to go back to Sarah's episode to see if Sarah crotches or not. I believe Sarah is team stop the crotch.
I believe so as well.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see. But like, I want to get to the point where the only thing people beef about in the TTRPG community,
right,
is whether motherfuckers crotch or not. That is my dream. That is my goal.
One day people are going, like, there will be 8 different factions somehow.
Where do you swear your allegiance? I swear my allegiance to the house.
So would you say that these people that we're talking about are those guys?
Oh, absolutely. Those guys. That guy.
I'm going to say. Which brings us to the next segment of our show. If you've been in the TTRPG community long enough, chances are you've had the misfortune of sitting at the table across from that guy. That guy's a black hole fun. Someone who, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience would improve drastically. So, Kappa, have you ever dealt with that guy, and can you tell us the story?
Yes, absolutely. I still consider myself a baby in the TTRPG space. I've been here for a little bit, but I feel like there's still so much to learn and so much to experience. But even in the short tenure, I've come across that guy. And I mean, I've come across those guys. We just talked about those guys. Those guys do exist. But I think I want to bring forward, and I'm going to be classy about this. I don't want to name names or anything. But I've come across that guy who, unfortunately, was the runner of the story, the dungeon master, the GM. We were playing vanilla 5e. This was just for a short shot. I think it was like 3 or 4 sessions. And there's so many reasons why people decide to take on the GM mantle. You know, they and there are a lot of really shitty reasons. And this person seemed to tick all of the shitty reasons off with this decision to run this game. If you I don't want to get into specifics here because
you don't have to.
Yeah. But I just want to say, I might get into specifics. I can feel myself forming the words in my head. But if you take on the GM role for to one, force people to sit at a table with you and just sorry, I'm getting upset.
Take your time. Take your time.
I'm getting upset. So basically, this it'll be easier if I just explain the situation. This person asked if I could be part of their story, and I had joined, not knowing what this person's GM style and they had been running for a while too. Like they professed and claimed to have run several campaigns in various modules, Strahd, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It was very apparent from the first session, and we didn't run a session 0 when I joined. It was very apparent that this person was here to tell to tell a story. Great, fine.
A novelist.
Yeah, tell their story, but not include any input from the players.
Yeah.
Like they went through the motions of like, yeah, write up a backstory, send it over to me, or like, hey, what sort of like build your character the way you want, that anything's on the table. Cool. No red flags there. First red flag was no session 0. And it just turned into, this happens to you and your character feels this way and does this in response. Not to me personally, what a person that had already been at the table or been at this person's table a few times, and they just took it and they accepted it, even though it made them uncomfortable. It was a situation where their paladin started to struggle and waver in their faith, but it was apparent and obvious that the player did not initiate that with the GM beforehand, and did not want to necessarily explore it. And that was so hard to watch. I reached out to that person afterwards and said like, hey, did you want to do that? Is that something that you had agreed to? And they're like, no, that was unexpected. I mean, we roll with the punches here, right? And I was
should be no punches at the table.
I was flummoxed. I was in
there
shock.
There should only be
like,
punches you consent to at the table.
Right? I confronted this this GM with the permission of the person, and saying like, hey, I don't like that. Is this something that I can approach this GM with? And they're like, sure, but if you can be vague about stuff, that would, they were friends or something, like outside of the table. But approaching the GM with this, immediate defensive actions, shields up, trying to justify their actions of like, this is something that we all signed up for. It's an interesting story, you got to admit. I'm like, it's sure, if it's something that is put forth by the player, you in the span of one combat, you broke a few weapons because people rolled poorly, and these were weapons that were hard earned in your story. If you're going to hand something to someone just to take it away, that doesn't leave a good feeling. You are writing you said it, you are writing a book. You're writing a book.
You might as well just be writing a novel.
We as humans, we as players shouldn't feel like your playthings.
Yes.
This person needs to be yeeted into the sun. I don't know if they still I don't know if they still run. I have cut all ties with this person.
This sounds like a very typical puppet master.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a power trip. It's a power, like, and you could tell, like, I could tell that they had they institute this play group so that they could, it's a little sad when I think about it now, that they could hang out with other people to enact this fantasy, because other people 100% have become privy to their actions and avoid them. And so jumping from table to table, from group to group, trying to convince other people to play D&D is their only method of interaction, because they refuse to learn empathy.
So it's kind of funny that you brought this up, and I swear to God, I'm not trying to like pitch something, but I I am working on putting together a panel for Gen Con, and it's called Empathy at the Table, What We Owe Each Other. Because I feel like
stellar, love it.
Thank you. I feel like everybody owes everybody at the table. Um, Everybody owes respect to anybody that sits at the table. Everybody owes, attention, listening, respect, and empathy. Right?
Yeah, the vanilla ice principle.
Yeah.
You got to stop, collaborate, and listen. And God damn it, I hate that works so well.
Yeah.
And the challenge for GM is you are the adversary to your players. You do have to put them through challenges, and you do have to bring them low, but you have to do so with good faith behind it.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to do so in good faith. And it feels like this guy did not do any of this in good faith.
It's okay. It's funny because that you bring that up. I mean, it's not funny. It's very serious, and there's reverence behind it. But I was just talking with another friend about DMing and how player agency is a huge thing, and how they can incorporate it more and like make the story better because of it. There's so much power in collaboration. We talked about it earlier, of here's an idea, and then you have your support group, your resources to elevate that idea, and that idea in this panel that you are proposing is so powerful to discuss, and I feel a lot of people would benefit from it, because there's so much pressure on GMs to tell a story and surprise their players with this stuff, or surprise their audience with the story that they've crafted. But in long form improv, there it's not like a surprise at the table all the time. It's not a everyone at the table except the GM is blind to what's going to happen next. That's just not how it works. That's not how, I mean, if you want to be the next Critical Role, fine, but understand that the process is not a blind faith following of the GM or the storyteller, because it's not just the GM who's telling the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's the GM's responsibility to make sure that the table understands that there are safety tools available. And it's the player's job to utilize those safety tools, because the safety tool is only as effective as its use.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of people need to understand that trust has to be built before you can go off the wall and do some crazy left turn twist. There needs to be, I feel like, in order to most effectively be able to do a twist like that, or to initiate a storyline in which like a paladin starts to lose their faith, there needs to be a sense of understanding between player and GM that anything and everything that happens at the table is for the benefit of everybody at the table. If it only benefits one person, then it doesn't matter who that person is, you have a problem.
Yes.
Because no one person should be getting any more from the experience than the collective. And that's why it's called What We Owe Each Other. It's because everybody should leave the table happy. And if one person leaves the table unhappy, then it's a failure of the entire table. And like, I know that might be a little.
There is actually it is that philosophical principle of what is the greatest good for the whole, rather than the greatest good for rather than being self-serving.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi, Omnis.
That's not to say that it's not an interesting plot line. I think that's an amazing plot line. But if it's not the plot line that everyone who's supposed to be telling the story has agreed to, then you like you said, go write a book. You could have the greatest idea, for a storyline, a character progression, a plot, a story arc. And if that's the story that you want to tell, tell it. If it's not the story that your table wants to tell or a player character wants to tell, rethink it.
Utilitarian.
I mean-
Thank you, CJ.
Yeah. Pop it into your notes app and revisit it later. Write your book.
I mean, and you know, there are tools that you can use to gauge interest in a storyline that you want to take your player down to see how your player will react to it. If just a teaspoon of that, you might lose your faith. We're introduced to the player, and the player went, don't like this. You can go, oh well, you resisted, and now we know that that's a thing that exists in this world. You've introduced the concept to the player, and if the player goes, you know what, I like to revisit that.
Yeah.
Then you can do it in a healthy way where everybody at the table feels safe. But if you just, force that plot line down somebody's throat, fuck you. You're an asshole.
If I want to empower those people who do experience this.
Yes.
Especially if I'm the person who is instigating this, I'm sorry. Please approach me. Always open to communication. But it's scary to approach someone with your true feelings when those feelings are based in a negative emotion. It's hard and it's scary. I played in a game where my character started to become addicted to a substance, and that's not something that I wanted to explore. And in the moment, I was like, I don't want to do this. I approached. In the moment itself, I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes, how far this goes. Maybe it's just like a joke or something. After the session, approached the GM saying like, hey, that's not something I wanted to enjoy. I thought, maybe I'll go along with it, see where it goes in the moment, but it's not something that I feel okay with exploring for various reasons.
Yeah.
You don't owe the explanation, you don't owe the details to make someone sympathize with you, to get them to do what you want. If that person comes back with, oh, we're going to keep doing it anyway, leave that table.
And something that you touched on earlier is that there's so many GMs that are looking for like a gotcha moment with their players.
Yes.
And like I had a campaign that I was in where it felt like every victory that we had would eventually become undone.
Mm-hmm.
Like we defeated this big bad evil thing, only to find out that the big bad evil thing was later had latched itself onto the soul of one of the other players. So it would eventually come back.
Yeah.
I was able to save this one other character from something bad that happened, but oops, I didn't actually, because this character was a doppelganger.
And that's not something that you all had agreed to, or
no.
Yeah.
I know that game.
You know that game well.
That's the game where my fucking monk
got
outran by a full plate wearing cleric who's carrying a shield and mace, and I'm carrying nothing but my motherfucking fist and speed. And according to the rules,
and them quads.
I should be able to lap this motherfucker 30 times over. But no.
The GM wanted the cleric to show up first.
Ooh.
And because I knew I was faster, I had a plan in motion in my head. I was like, I'm gonna do this cool thing.
When you said monk, my heart dropped because I thought it was the game that we were in where you were a monk.
Oh no. Same character.
Same character? Yeah, just moved different campaigns.
Oh, I love that. Do more of that.
Yeah, so like
I'm sorry that you experienced the other part, but still.
I still need to bring back my character from that campaign.
Do that concept.
For something.
Yeah, well, if you ever have a character that you love, but they're in a shitty game and your GM isn't treating you right, just put them in another game. Like,
yeah,
the shitty game is just part of the backstory.
Wasn't even because of a bad roll, Otter.
It was just
the GM had set the scene.
This was the script that the GM wrote.
Yeah. something had fallen from the sky, and
Oh no, I remember exactly what it was. So, one of our fellow players was a ASMR, and something happened where they fell from the sky and landed.
He
It
died.
just plummeted to Earth.
The character died.
Yeah.
Right. And so my character wanted to go see what the fuck was up and possibly
do the help or do the thing. The first
do
protect the party.
something.
Yeah.
Right. Do something. Right. And so I was just like, okay, as soon as I see that this thing is plummeting to Earth, I'm going full speed.
Yeah.
Towards where it's going. So
movement,
my
bonus action, all
and
dedicated to movement.
I even said I'll use as many key points as I need to just get there first.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, well, the cleric gets there first. And I'm like, how, Sway? Make it make sense, Sway.
America, explain. I'm Confucian. That
and like, yeah.
Like I encounter this all the time with one on the internet, but people just asking questions of like, oh, how do I GM better? I take this example of like, if this mantra of, if your narrative doesn't allow for player agency, you're doing it wrong.
Like, yeah, I mean, and listen,
let's build that into some sort of like educational curriculum. I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Like some kind of principle of some sort.
Maybe named after like a pop star or
I don't know. All I know is that it should be cool.
But kind of plain at the same time, like vanilla.
And cold as ice. Oh,
we should we should call the ice vanilla protocol.
Ice vanilla. Matt's gonna come back here and just fuck us all up. Yeah, no, like I get that there are some times where, in order to move the plot ahead, you have to
make
decisions for characters, or not remove but pause player agency. I call it cutscening, right? Sometimes when you're in it, when you're GMing, you have to just put the game in a cutscene. And like, I think before you do something like that, again, it comes with building rapport with your players and building trust with your players so that they understand, oh, we're cutscening right now because we need to move the plot ahead. But I know that my GM is going to give me a moment to kick ass. Because I feel like if agency is removed from a player, I think it hits harder if that player doesn't expect to have another moment to shine in the game.
Yes.
But if you're the type of GM that's like, hey, I'm going to make sure everybody has their moment. If you like, hey, calm down right now. Like, I'm gonna pause you. We're going to cut scene. I feel like that's less detrimental if they know that in the next scene after the cutscene, that's
when the cool stuff will happen.
Right.
I like that. I really like cutscening is such an important concept now that I think about it, to as a tool for GMs and players to move through whatever story plot line. If it's all
swear to God, if cutscening becomes a common term in the TTRPG community and I don't get $1 off of it, I'm whooping everybody's ass.
I had to do that a couple of games ago for Star Trek. The first episode.
Go watch that campaign, by the way.
Thanks. It's good. I really like it. But we have a character who actually wanted to switch characters, and he was like, I am perfectly okay with you killing off my player. Like, I am perfectly fine with you doing that because we are getting into high stakes. We are in the unknown. We are damaged beyond repair. And at this point, if something happens to my character and my character dies, I am fine with that. I'm like, okay, are you sure? He's like, yeah. Like, I trust you. You can give them a good, honorable death. I'm like, Cool. Awesome. End of the episode comes around, ship's taken heavy damage, like they're stuck in some sort of time soup and they're about to get out. But the commander has who's in charge, who is the player character that wanted an out, ordered everybody off the ship so that he could steer the ship through this anomaly to the other side. And I'm like, okay,
I'm so captivated.
Okay, here's your chance. Like, be prepared. And the other player's like, I need to run up to the bridge of the ship because I'm like the only one that can steer us. And I'm like, I've already established early on in the narrative that the ship is like constantly changing in flux due to the state of this. So I'm like, unfortunately, you get there and like, there's no way up to the bridge. The turbo lift is down. You're going to need to escape. And Wasa was like, okay, I understand. This is a cutscene. This is what's happening. And then I'm like, okay, so we're gonna have to give like at this, and then I basically narrated out the end of the episode where this character who has been in like who is experiencing these time flux the same as the ship is now understands how to pilot the craft, how to fix the craft, but is stuck in this one course of direction, and how to fix himself, but is stuck in this one course of direction, and like at this point, like that's the end for the character. So yeah,
Powerful.
we had
Powerful.
to, and it
And
worked.
we don't, yeah,
And, like,
and we don't get a cool moment like that if there isn't understanding between the GM and the players, or players and the players.
And that's one of the things that like afterwards I'm like, okay, just to explain to everybody, like Milan had asked for this, so here is how that went down. And everyone's like, oh yeah, absolutely, we trust you. I'm like, thank you, because that feels better. That feels so good when I can get trusted to like help make those decisions for folks.
It's a powerful tool. Already I'm running through things that I've experienced where the concept of cutscening, if understood and accepted explicitly by both sides of the table, would have made for a more a healthier moment, but two, a cool cutscene, like a cool narrative story point, instead of one person having to concede to the agency of either the player or the GM, because it goes both ways, you know. That you tell a more holistic story with this concept and idea. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna turn into a thing, Nora, and I will send you $1 so you receive that $1.
I just more than anything, it's I keep saying that the key to all of this is to build rapport with your players. Player GM trust is crucial, and it's a lot easier to build trust than it is to maintain it, because once you kind of cross that line with the player, it's hard for them to let that go.
Yeah.
Like, I like a lot of GMs I don't trust.
Majority?
I think I got like maybe one that I trust.
Wow.
Like that goodwill, it's easily shattered.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you shatter it, like sitting at the GM is such a responsibility, because if you do it right, you can literally save somebody from their real life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you do it wrong, you're picking on them for hours.
Yes.
And like, that is a responsibility. That is like, and a lot of it comes down to like being able to read the room, being considerate, having empathy, and acting on that empathy. I have seen so many times where it's just like, oh, I've had a lot of GMs go, hey, I felt like something was wrong, so I wanted to talk to you after the game. Like, that is the mark of a good GM. The mark of an amazing GM to me is one that goes, in game, fuck, I'm fucking up. Let me fix it. Like, yes. And even like one of the most powerful things that ever happened to me is a GM straight up went, all right, hold on one second. What am I doing wrong? I know something's off here. And they pulled me aside and they were like, something's off here. Are you good? Like they checked in game, stopped the session, checked it. And it's just like,
oh my God.
Having empathy is one thing. Acting on empathy, that is a whole. It goes right back to the.
I got chills. Like you just describing that moment. My God.
It goes right back to the idea. Like anybody can have an idea. Anybody can have empathy. The difference between it being useful or it being more than an idea is what do you do with the information that you're gathering?
Yeah.
If you continue to do the same thing, then what's the point of you knowing something was wrong?
There's the concept and then there's the practice. If
you pick up like something, oh fuck. So like I have had sessions.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh no.
I've had sessions where I'm like, oh shit, I am dropping the ball. And like, all right, let's go to break. What the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah.
Well, I am like, and as a GM, you're gonna have off nights.
Yeah.
That's just going to happen.
That's human.
But the thing is, you need to make sure that your off night doesn't harm someone.
Yeah.
You don't make it a bad experience for someone else.
Yeah.
And waiting till the end of the game sometimes is too late. Mm-hmm. That's because you knew, like sometimes that's even worse because you knew something was wrong the whole time. And you let me sit in it. You let me sit in it for hours. Yeah. And then afterwards told me, hey, I knew the whole time something was wrong. My bad. Well, if you knew something was fucking wrong, why the fuck did I sit in it for 2 hours? Like I think it's becoming a pet peeve for me in general of people knowing shit is wrong and not acting on it. Like, I don't know. I think I'm bringing personal life into my TTRPG, but it's just like, if you know something is wrong and you don't fucking do something to fix it, don't even bother knowing something's fucking wrong.
That is the stop and collaborate part of the Vanilla Ice principle. Like, it's so useful. Like, it's a meme right now. It's a joke. There's humor behind it, but it is so useful.
If you know something is wrong, you need to stop, collaborate, and listen.
It's so useful, and there's humor behind the formation of the concept, but is so important to recognize that it is a useful tool.
Yes, don't leave people sitting in their uncomfortability. If you perceive that there is a tension at the table, I promise you, acting on it as soon as you understand that there's something off will always be better than just trying to power through and letting people fester in whatever weird feelings are going on at the table. It's a cancer.
I will also, okay, so I want to also bring up, I said this was a two-way street. It's not all on the GM to do this. It's also on the players.
Yes.
I have been guilty of this where as a player, I realized I might be bullying the GM with either my knowledge of the game or with, like sometimes the GM just needs to have that moment to monologue as the BBEG or needs to be able to cutscene. But we didn't understand that as players and goaded the GM into a position where their agency was taken away. GM's a player too, y'all. So all of this, all the stuff that we said in the last 10 minutes, apply that as a player as well.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, listen, if you're watching this, chances are you've been in the TTRPG community for some time. And if you have been, I think all of us have had that moment in our head where we have kind of gone, well, fuck me. I guess I'm just done then, and given up on the game in the game. Like, we all know that moment where it's just like, why try?
Yeah.
And if you're a GM or if you're a player and you see somebody quit, do something.
Yeah. It might be too late for that player, but everyone else who's still around, and for yourself, that's a learning opportunity to better yourself, to not make that same mistake again.
And these are hard conversations to have, especially if you're a person with anxiety, or it can be difficult to sit in that uncomfortability and have a hard conversation with the other person.
Yeah. Absolutely. I will say, and this is my own personal belief. If you see somebody quit, if you're the GM or if you're another player, don't wait on the person to quit to do the emotional labor of explaining why they quit.
Yeah.
That is a dick move. It's like, we're going to beat you up and then we're going to wait for you to tell us to stop. Like, don't be that like if I can inspire the people watching this to do anything, it's to be willing to do the emotional labor in favor of someone that's been hurt. Because expecting somebody who's been hurt to also be the bigger person, that's Herculean to be in that position, to do that. It's rough. Like, okay, you've been beaten down and you have to like explain how I've been beaten down and not snap. Like, come on. Like, there's a level of conflict that you have to understand that you might need to face if you're going to do any social activity. And that's going to be the social labor. That's going to be the emotional labor of defending your own boundaries. Because if you're going to do something with other people, you should understand that some of them are not going to understand or respect your boundaries. And you have to be willing to defend your own boundaries. You also have to be willing to defend the boundaries of people that you're sitting at the table with. Because again, that's what we owe each other.
Boom. I want to clip this. I want to clip this and play it at your panel.
This is the whole panel right here.
This is the panel. It's happening here now.
You can have entire college courses surrounding this idea.
I mean, there's so many real life equivalents to what we're talking about at the table. How many times have you been around somebody that has been an absolute dickhead to you, and then once they realize that something was wrong, they're like, I'm just kidding, or I'm just playing, or I love you. Like, that is harm done that you are minimalizing and trivializing. Exactly. And that's poison at a table. That's poison in a relationship. That's poison in any social area. If you see that somebody is hurting and you suspect that you might be the cause, time to suck it up and go, I see that something is wrong and I don't understand exactly what it is, and I'm here to do the work to make it right. If I'm part of the problem that's causing you to feel this way, let me know, and so we can start fixing it. But leaving somebody to stew in that feeling, like, I know we've all felt that. I know we've all been at a table like, I haven't had a turn in the last hour and a half, and instead everybody has had a turn. And now it skipped me again, and it's gone back to the person that's talked the most this entire session. So I guess fuck me then. Like, if you're at a table and you see that, it costs you nothing to go, hey, Kappa, what's your character doing right now? It's something as small as that can save a session for somebody.
I know we just talked about a very hypothetical situation, but like, my mind lit up with that interaction in this hype. Like, I had zero investment 2 seconds before you said that to me, and all of a sudden I'm like, Oh yeah, no, I'm in it. Yes, I'm back.
Right?
I again, hypothetical situation. Imagine if that's in a real life situation, what you can do to someone, what you can do for someone.
And I think also it's not just something that the GM, it's not just a move that the GM can do. It's
Yeah.
something that the other players at the table can do. Be like, oh, I don't think so and so's had a turn yet. What are they doing?
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what they're up to.
You
can get back to me later.
Yeah, it's like it's what we owe each other. Holy shit. Like again, we should be teaching this. We should be teaching this to our middle schoolers, high schoolers, college courses. Explore it. Like, make me TTRPG god, please. Holy, like, please let us incorporate this into how we learn. Oh, it's a panel.
This is a good panel so far.
Good panel. Can you believe this started off with me watching the Gotham Knights trailer?
I know, right? That's how the show always goes.
Yeah.
It always goes.
Yeah.
I do want to share one experience that I had recently. I was in a game and a player kept having their actions rewritten.
Oh.
So they would say
no.
something like, I'm here,
That's
and then
poo-poo.
somebody else would be like, oh, but you're over here, and I just talked to you, and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really annoying. And, you know, I sent my DMs to check in on the player, and they're like, it's fine. You know, and I'm like, I can say something. They're like, it's fine. So, after the game was over, you know, we're just about to wrap up. It cost nothing to, like, this was something that I did, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm probably giving it away if you're in this game with me, so, you know, oops. But I was just like, you know, I'm in a lot of games these days. Is this one of the games where we do stars and wishes?
It's a good move.
They're like,
you genius.
what's that? I was like, oh, stars and wishes is where you introduce a safety tool. Sometimes it's all it takes is a seed, and really, it just care about people at your table. And if you care about people at your table, you end up thinking like, how can I save this table and do the least amount of harm? So that's, yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. So elegant. I'm gonna borrow that.
It's such a good move.
Yeah,
It's such a good move.
You okay? This is okay. I'm going to propose something. What we owe each other to, put it into practice. It's just discussing tools on how to do the stuff that you talked about in panel 1.
We're gonna have a whole course by the time this is over. This ain't
That's how you build a syllabus.
It's a motherfucking college course now, baby. But like, yeah, I just want people to care. Just to care. Yeah. Because if you care and you act on that care, this hobby gets better. Nobody has to sit for 2 to 4 hours just get beat up anymore. Nobody has to sit for 2 to 4 hours and just not say anything and not feel included. Nobody has to like endure bullshit. If 10%,
if 10% of the TTRPG community understood half of what we've been saying, we'd see so many positive repercussions throughout the space, the community. It's such a small act that has big ripple effects. And I think it's super important to be able to do these conversations, to go into it, but you don't,
to be able to help facilitate those conversations.
Yeah, but we don't see that. We don't see that, and it's now going to be part. Sorry, I had to burp.
It's all good.
I didn't want to do it into the mic.
Hey, and fun fact, we just burped simultaneously. I was just gonna say, like, just to cut you off real quick, there are ways to enforce boundaries, to improve the table, to increase empathy that don't involve being as volatile, as toxic, or as negative as the things that you're trying to fight. If you're trying to out toxicity, you are going to lose, and you're going to make the place that you're in worse.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I'm gonna fan out here, which is why I'm such a big fan of this show. Like, these conversations happen, and it's a platform where people's eyes are on it so that they can learn. They can fucking learn one thing. And it's gotten bigger. Like, last week we had some big personality.
Some dude named Matt. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's
Small time creator.
We have your reel, the show that you play during the break has all these different people who have clout in the space being part of this, and that gets people to watch, and then they hear these kinds of conversations. It is such an important place to be. It's such an important place to experience. And so, Anita and Noir, this is just me showing appreciation for the space that you hold here.
Compliments. I don't like it.
See ya. This is my show now. Hashtag let them die.
Okay, so we have one last question left for you.
Let's go.
And then I think that'll be as good a place to end it as any.
Yeah.
All right. If you could have any new property exist, but it had to replace an existing property.
Okay.
And whatever you replace it with, that's how big it becomes. So if you replace, if you're like, I want this new property to be as big as Star Wars, it will be as big as Star Wars, but Star Wars goes away. What are you creating, and what are you replacing?
Okay. This is so open-ended.
Yeah, it is.
This is one of those questions that I will think about forever.
Good.
Because on one hand, you don't want to take something big and replace it with an idea that is that is small and shitty. But on the other hand, you want to share something that is impactful with as many people as possible. Fuck it, we're going big. You said Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to replace I want to replace Star Wars. Star Wars is huge. Star Wars has so much influence on the scope of how we do media, on how we write stories, on how we all of that. We're taking that out. We're taking that, and we are going to be replacing it with Star Wars, but with people of color at the very beginning.
Oh yes!
It doesn't have to be Star Wars. If I have to take out the IP of Star Wars and replace it with something different, it doesn't have to be Star Wars. But what the groundwork that was laid down took inspiration from so many different cultures, specifically Japanese culture, and infused many different things. But it was such an erasure of Japanese culture.
Hey,
I think.
Hi,
I think. Oh, hello. I think if we restarted and reset Star Wars in a way that in a way that honored and incorporated people of color, the way, like, if we took Finn from the sequel trilogy and all the people of color, and had that be the cast of A New Hope as it came out, we'd be in such a better place as a society because of how integrated representation is.
Yeah.
in the fabric of our society, because you cannot deny that Star Wars exists in a bubble. It's everywhere.
Star Wars is white as fuck. Like if you go back and watch the original one, it's wildly white. It's aggressively Caucasian.
So I think this satisfies both question, or both. Sorry, this addresses both problems where you take a big idea and you replace it with something shitty. This is not a shitty idea. We know Star Wars works, but in order to reach the same amount of people with new ideas, you replace it with something that is just the smallest tweak, an easy tweak, and you change the world.
Anakin should have been black, is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that Anakin it doesn't make sense that he goes from sounding like Hayden Christensen, you underestimate my power, to smooth, deep, velvet voice.
Don't try.
James Earl Jones.
That is still such a big leap of imagination that I have a hard time to deal with, especially with the new show out.
Yeah, it's like, because I know it's Hayden Christensen under there, but I'm hearing James Earl Jones. It's upsetting.
Otterpo in chat is saying probably why I loved Vision so much. Yes, and we are getting content out of Visions that pays homage, that is in the medium set forward by by the inspirations behind Star Wars. So
but I'm thinking about like if we did like Star Wars as it was, but we just add people of color, I think it makes sense. Anakin being a black guy, and I think having Luke be a mixed kid would be fantastic.
Yeah,
because I've talked to a friend who like really kind of broke down to me just I mean I will never know the struggles of somebody that is mixed, and they were breaking it down to me because we often joke like mediocre white guys and white guys and like, okay, so when people say like fuck men and that kind of shit, I understand who they're talking about.
Yes,
like the kind of men that they're talking about. On my low days, like on the days where anxiety and depression and all that shit are kicking me in the teeth.
Oh yeah,
that shit does hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say like I understand the logistics. They're not talking about me, but most of my life I identified as a man. So when somebody goes fuck men, it's just like that flinch is there. There are some days where I don't need that. Like that hurts. And I was talking to a mixed friend of mine, and they were just like, well, it's very much the same way that you can understand that when people go like, fuck white guys, that's part of me. Like, and so it's just, I would like for them to have something. I would like for them to have a Luke Skywalker. You're right, mixed folks. And I know that just bunching them all together isn't fair because you have there's all sorts of mix.
Yeah, you have in Japanese you have Happa, who are half white and half some sort of Asian, usually East Asian. But then you also have people like me. I'm Japanese and Filipino, right? Where the Japanese colonized the Philippines for a time, and so there is stuff there, right?
Yeah,
there's stuff, heavy stuff, but it doesn't get addressed. So like the idea that mixed folks are not just white and something else,
right?
That is some sort of that is erasure.
Yes, exactly.
You can still represent that by making Anakin black and having Luke and Leia be mixed.
Exactly, perfectly explaining what I'm trying to say, because I don't necessarily have the words to properly explain a way to tend to an identity that I don't exactly share, but the drive to do it is there. It's just the vocabulary is not there. But yeah,
I find it so baffling that Anakin is not black. When you really think about it, take Phantom Menace and everything, all the facts about Anakin in a vacuum outside of race. We as a society have been conditioned to take the characteristics and apply it to a certain identity that is a black identity.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. And then he appears as a white dude.
Just the old white dude in the last movie. I'm like, will you fucking Lucas?
So yeah. I mean,
my dad thought Vader was black for like the longest until the last couple of minutes of the,
spoilers for it's the same concept as like spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, but like Electro thought Spider-Man was black because of his actions and his MO. It's such a weird twist to reveal that Vader's a white guy.
And the problem is like again, it's the vocabulary that I always struggle with. I feel like there is nothing to be gained by making a character white. That doesn't add anything to the story because white has unfortunately been considered the default for so long. There's no cultural impact. There's no story impact. I
wouldn't say this is a conversation for a different day, but I wouldn't say none. I think there is, just not in the way that we've been doing it for decades.
Fair.
I see where you're coming from, and I also see where I'm coming from, and it's just like right now my brain is resolving the two. But here's what I mean, just as an example, and this is the example that I always give. Batman makes more sense as a black guy, and I just let your brain do the work, and it just makes more sense. See, to me, it makes more sense that Batman is an Asian dude.
Hold on.
I don't mean to take away from your idea here. I don't mean to take away, but in my perspective, Batman makes more sense as an Asian dude. You also fix something very problematic about Batman by making him Asian. Just saying. Go ahead, continue your thought process.
Okay, so here's why I'm really liking that. Because the whole trope of a white guy going, east and learning all like kung fu and all this kind of shit.
That's the problematic thing that I'm addressing here.
I think you add an entirely different layer to Batman.
Instead,
if he's an Asian guy and he goes home.
If he reclaims something that was lost to him, a piece of his identity that was lost to him,
well,
as a result of trauma.
Because he's not getting justice here.
Yes.
So he goes home.
You're seeing it.
To learn how to get the justice that's being denied to him in the place that took his family. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better. That's so much better.
W conversation.
I thank you for talking through it and getting to the conclusion of why I think fundamentally Batman makes more sense and is better served as an Asian dude.
That is so much. I mean, because then you can have conversations about. You can have conversations about, and this is something that Asian identities and like Mexican identities and things like that and cultures like that have, that I've always been very curious about, because it's something that we don't have, which is like a Japanese person can go to Japan, and there are people all around that looks like them and treat them like just a person.
Just accept. Yeah.
It's for the most part, they have a home. They have a place to go. Yeah. Essentially. And I've always been jealous of that and have been curious about that experience.
And that makes sense why. Yeah, that makes sense why.
And so but then I talk to my friends that have these identities, and they tell me about the struggle of assimilation versus keeping with their traditions. Yep. And I think telling the story of that through the lens of Batman, because then Batman, the identity becomes the identity of home, versus Bruce Wayne, who is the identity of assimilation. It's a whole other story.
You explore the experience and struggle of diaspora. Last week I was on a panel for Roll for Solidarity, where we had an hour to talk about what it's like to incorporate our identities into our story writing, and the focus of the conversation was what is it like to be raised here in the West, and try and attempt to represent a culture that sometimes rejects us because we didn't grow up in the same culture as back home. Go Roll for Solidarity, Transplanter RPG. Go listen to that panel.
Great panels.
I want an Asian Batman and a Black Superman.
Yes. Yes. Yes, please. Oh my God, yes.
He gets his power from the sun.
I cast Sterling K. Brown as Kal-El.
Think about it. Kal-El not having a home because it blew up, and not having a home on Earth.
Yeah. Oh.
And it makes the relationship between Batman and Superman so much more nuanced. It makes oh my God, I want this.
Did we just start our own comics company during this, all because of Gotham Knights?
Oh. It's written into the DNA of this new IP.
Sam, even more than before they should kiss. I'm for it. Like, hell yeah. Oh my God.
But this is a bonus answer to that question. We just take the IP of Superman and Batman and replace it with this. Like, there it is. That is I'm all for taking what you love and then just making it somewhat better. That's what I'm doing with this question, this IP question from now on forever, is taking something that people love, something that is prominent, and just making it just that much more better.
I mean, that adds layers to every part of the Batman mythos. To every Oh my God.
It turns something that is culturally appropriative, something that is harmful, something that perpetuates this idea of ownership over other people's cultures, and turns it into a narrative of reclamation, self-discovery, and honestly, just pride.
I mean, because one of the things that has never made sense in the entire Batman mythos is that there's this little rich white boy whose parents get shot in front of him, and the cops don't find who did it or somebody to blame.
Oh my, yes. Yeah.
But now if we're dealing with cops the way we know them, and it's this poor little Asian kid.
You introduce at that point you introduce ideas of, well, he's Asian, he's gonna get back on his feet. You know, the model minority myth is super real. You can explore that. I think that this has legs.
Yeah.
Maya has a question. Would Martha and
Yeah.
John Kent adopting Superman still be a white couple
I would not have
for that
them
additional
be
nuance?
Mhm.
I would not have them be a white couple. I would have them be sharecroppers. And
I
if you
was
don't
gonna
know what
say-
sharecroppers are, look it up. It's fucking awful.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it would make a lot of sense. If you don't know what sharecropping is, well, first of all, you live a very privileged life. Second of all, go educate yourself. Third of all, that makes a lot of sense for John and Martha Kent to be sharecroppers. I can't speak to how I would change that storyline of if Kal-El was black, because I don't claim that identity, obviously. But I love this idea. Historically speaking, that turns the narrative of Kal-El. You said it already, where the home planet gone. You don't have any place on Earth where you feel home either.
There's one other aspect to a black Superman that I kind of want to lay out.
Okay.
Which is, it is commonplace for black kids to be taught to dim their light. Don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, don't rock the boat because that brings attention, and attention is bad.
And even if Kal-El himself is bulletproof, his parents would tell him, don't let that be shown, because if they find out that you're bulletproof, they're going to make the entire neighborhood pay.
This legitimizes the change that Zack Snyder made to John Kent and his ideal in the Man of Steel movie.
It's like, if they find out what you can do, they'll bomb the town. And that's not his parents being over dramatic. That's not his parents being like cruel for no reason, like Jonathan Kent was in Man of Steel. Sometimes you got to let the kids die. Like, it makes sense coming from black parents because there's historical precedent there. If they find out you can fly, they'll lynch us all. That's a reality that a black Kal-El in that time would have to deal with. And that makes sense for why he would develop the personality or the identity of Clark Kent.
Someone who doesn't draw attention to themselves.
We have created something.
Oh,
we have created something beautiful,
but
here.
It's good.
We have created something beautiful here, where we are making it make sense with one small change, because the stories are there. The narratives are being taken from. They're being appropriated and put into a jar that does not look like it should, you know? I mean,
that's what I was talking about when I was just like, we've lived with the idea of white being default for so long. I don't feel like it necessarily adds to the story, in that if you take most stories and you just make this tweak of having the main character be POC, there is a level of storytelling there that we don't often get.
It doesn't stop at what you look like. I mean, what your race or your ethnicity is either. Green Lantern as a disabled person or Green Lantern as someone who deals with anxiety. There's having his weakness be the color yellow starts to make a lot more sense.
Someone who has to be courageous despite the fact that they feel
are
anxious all the time.
Yeah.
And they're scared.
It doesn't have to stop at ethnicity. You bring in disability. You bring in sexuality,
bring in
gender identity into these superheroes. You make them make more sense and much more powerful of a story. Sorry, go ahead.
And I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that's what's necessary to really shut people up who see a black woman in Star Wars and freak out. They're freaking out because they haven't seen this shit before. And they should.
And man children.
Oh my God. And that train is never late. It always shows up. Whenever somebody that's not straight and white dares to do anything, that train
Nuanced
shows up.
or interesting,
Right.
or at the very least at some modicum of empowering, that those people show up in droves.
I addressed this the other day because I was actually watching, like, I went through someone's comment section to see, like, because it was Freddie's roommate, and Justin put through a point. It's just like, if you've got something other than, like, they're just written poorly, like, speak up. They're like, well, the acting's bad, she's written poorly, she's angry all the time, she just solves all her problems with violence and this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, Anakin Skywalker in the prequels.
You mean Anakin? You mean Kylo? You mean holy shit? Like, it's
Han Solo, who goes to violence, who literally shoots first.
Honestly, nothing scares white guys like black feminine rage.
That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sit with the fact, like, if you're upset that she's angry, you got to sit with the fact that you're really giving into the angry black woman trope.
Well, I mean, I believe there's a reason for that, and here's my theory. In acting, you're taught to draw upon what you know.
Yeah.
You're taught to, like, pull real emotions, and I feel like there is nobody with a more righteous well of anger than black women. Their rage is righteous, it's justified, and I think people who see that rage understand inherently where it's coming from
and how powerful it is, and it scares them.
Like, if you see black feminine rage and it really gets to you, I think that's your soul telling you that you played a part in putting that anger there. And that's a very uncomfortable thing to have to deal with. And when you're watching Star Wars and you see a character whose entire purpose is to weaponize that rage, it becomes really scary. Because if there were a way to weaponize that rage and you see that on the screen, you know that if she were real, you put some of that rage there. And very much like the character in the show, she would be able to do things to you that you know that you earned.
Chills. Oh my God, chills. Can you imagine how we could have sidestepped all of this if Star Wars was just from the forefront filled with POC?
Right?
Can you I know just replacing the original idea of Star Wars with better Star Wars, that in the time period would have never flown. But if we take but I'm sorry, I'm going back to the question that was asked of me earlier. But if we just take the entire IP of Star Wars as it exists now, past, present, future, and just replace that with better Star Wars, how far as a society will we have come?
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, like, one of the things that's always gotten me is that there are so many fans of the Empire. And if you look at what Order 66 is, it is a collection of peacekeeping individuals being genocided by a power-hungry old white guy.
Like, that is a very powerful word, and it's the most accurate word in this scenario.
They called it
in
a
this
purge,
situation.
but you know what it is.
Like, there's so many Order 66s in real life that, you know.
Thank you, Sam. How is anyone comfortable publicly being fans of the Nazi metaphor?
I see people with Empire tattoos, and I'm like, for real? Like, I mean, no matter how much you might disagree with the Jedi, they didn't. Nobody ever does anything to earn a genocide. But if you really think about it, all they did was decide, hey, let's give the Republic some of our aid. Let's help the Republic. Like, you know, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and then they got manipulated into some evil shit.
Right. And the only options left to them were either die or convert. Now, where have we seen that before?
Oh, how much time you got?
so it's just like, this is what people are fans of. Like,
it's a whole thing. Like, it's a whole thing that George Lucas was like, yeah, these are Nazis. These are space Nazis. Like, all the inspiration that I took for the stormtroopers, all the inspiration I took for the military, that is and that is the Empire, those are just Nazis. And people are taking that and tattooing it on themselves.
And it's unsurprising when there are racism issues in in
that fandom.
In that fandom, and in a subsect of that fandom, like the 501st.
Oh yeah, they're mad racist.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I'm never surprised when I hear like, oh my God, Star Wars fans are toxic. They're coming after another PLC. Yeah. Look at how many people willingly bought a Stormtrooper outfit.
It's such a hard line to walk, where you don't want to, yuck someone's yum. You don't want to cut someone down for what they enjoy.
Right.
It is entirely within your power to ask them to observe a little deeper. Ask them why.
Like, I'm never gonna give anybody shit for wearing the Stormtrooper outfit. If you have a Empire tattoo, that's fine. But it will always be a red flag. And there's nothing you can do to remove the fact that is a red flag. If you have an Empire tattoo on you, I will not be surprised if one day you dropped a hard ER on me. Like, in fact, in my head, I'll be like, I should have saw that coming. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like,
to remove that stigma, to remove that thought process, as small as it is, you cannot deny that it has implications.
By that same token that you mentioned, it is okay to sit with that, or it's not your place to yuck anyone's yum, but if it is something that you love, it is okay to be critical of something that you love.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
In fact,
absolutely.
I think that makes you a better fan.
Yeah.
To ask the questions like, why is this fucked up the way that this is fucked up?
Just like Thor's hammer in Pagan Spaces, red flag. You know how upset if you look at the history of Vikings,
Norse mythology, or just
of Norse mythology, like, there are black Vikings. Like,
yeah,
because it's a job title.
Vikings were cool as shit with some of the Africans they ran into, but it's been co-opted by these racist fucks.
Yeah, this is what gets me a lot. That the fact that neo-Nazis and just straight up bigots and shitty people in this world have co-opted Norse paraphernalia, symbolism, and ideology, and integrate and have taken ownership of it so that it represents them, where Norse mythology is about everything they stand against, right? Loki,
gay as fuck.
Like, gender fluid.
Yeah.
Thor loves women.
Thor got married to a dude.
Thor also turned into I forget what who. It was still Thor, right? But Thor, also a gender fluid. I can't fathom.
There are countless Norse myths where people switch genders or like
you said, Black Vikings. Viking is a color. It wasn't just white dudes with blonde beards. It was so.
That's the story I was thinking of, Nix. He cross dressed and got married to a dude to get his hammer.
To get
back.
his hammer. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Nix. Oh my god. It is
that's some Bugs Bunny
baffling
level
to
shit
me.
too.
Yeah, right. It is baffling to me. It is such a so confusing to me how neo-Nazis, bigots have taken this to mean what they think it means.
Because an anthropologist, I think, pointed out that if you were blonde hair, blue-eyed in Scandinavia, you weren't a Viking, you were a farmer.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though.
Right?
Like, Nazis are desperate for anything that portrays strength, and that's why they have to co-opt things. Because what happens naturally in the world is that strength is always acquired by working together. That's just the way it is. Strength doesn't care about your skin color. Strength doesn't care about your sexual orientation. Strength doesn't care about what you identify as. Strength cares about if you are willing to stand next to this person and pick up this big ass rock. If you can, then goddamn it, you're strong together. No, there's never been a barbell on earth that went, I'll only be lifted by somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's not how strength works, you fucking morons.
Holy shit. It's
Nix pointed out they co-op to camouflage, so it's easier to be out in the open and recruit.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nix.
Doesn't that sound like some cowardly bitch ass shit?
Like,
if you stand by your ideals, say that shit with your whole chest. But they know that if they do, listen, we gave Philadelphia a lot of shit earlier.
Yeah,
we gonna give Philadelphia some praise now. Somebody walked out in Philadelphia in a fucking Klan get up, and there is a video of them getting they shit absolutely rocked.
Yes. Those two things can exist at the same time, where they beat up Santa and they beat up a fucking KKK dude. Those two separate things.
For CJ, because CJ had to leave.
I'm just saying, if y'all are so tough, come out and say this shit with your chest. But they don't. They fucking hide behind their camouflage and then fucking shoot up people in goddamn grocery stores that aren't ready to fight back. That's not strength. That's not being genetically superior. That's being a straight punk ass bitch. That's what that is. I'm sorry, I took it to church for a second.
No, you are right to. I just don't want to say anything to ruin that. Like I'm so sick of these motherfuckers being so cowardly and acting like they so tough. You will not replace us, you say in a fucking forum, and then you go to a fucking church or you go to a fucking grocery store and you attack old women and you attack old children. You attack children and you attack people. They attack people trying to just pray or get lunch. Try that shit. These motherfuckers talk so much shit about Chicago. Every fucking time one of these shootings happen, they're always like, Chicago, what about the kids in Chicago? You know what? If these motherfuckers are so tough, this is my invitation to Nazis to come to Chicago and see what the fuck happens. Oh shit.
This is I come to Chicago, talk that wild brazy shit, and see what the fuck happens to your ass.
I love that you can say that because you know exactly what's gonna happen. I love that so much. I'm here for it.
They'll never do that shit because they wild scared. And I'm just like, your politicians are weak, your fucking gunmen are weak, the NRA is weak, and y'all finna die out. So just this is the dying gas of ignorant old white guys. And you know, like y'all can't die soon enough.
And the one turtle in Congress for some reason.
Yeah, the one turtle in Congress. So since y'all having such a hard time dying, come to Chicago, we'll give you a hand.
Emotional.
That was beautiful. That's so beautiful. That was beautiful, Noir. This is a privilege to be able to experience this.
It's an honor and a privilege.
We are heart of the Midwest.
This
We
is
love
what
to
you
help
get
our
every
neighbors.
like you both get this every single week. That's awesome.
Oh, we should probably wrap up now that I've threatened to shoot Nazis.
I don't think that we have any better place. Punch Nazis, folks.
Yeah,
Do
go
a
punch a
public
Nazi.
service.
Be punk.
Whenever you get the
No
chance,
true
if you're in front of,
hasn't punched a Nazi.
whenever you get a chance, whenever you find yourself in front of a camera and a microphone, I behoove you to use that opportunity to look dead in the camera and speak directly to the microphone and just say, fuck Nazis. Like, I mean that shit with my entire chest.
Fuck Nazis. Fuck turf.
Hey. Fuck Nazis, yo.
Fuck Nazis, y'all.
Can we get Morning Ritual sponsored by a brass knuckle manufacturer? Listen, if I could have one knuck say morning and the other say ritual.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Please.
I can. That is commissionable.
Let me tell you how on brand it is for us to make a TTRPG show and to get sponsored by Brass Knuckles before we get sponsored by a dice company. Like that is peak Morning Ritual energy right there.
One says Noir, one says Enigma.
Mine are gonna say fuck Nazis. Oh God. Well, that's been the show today, folks.
Yeah.
That's been our show. Thanks
I
so
love
much,
it.
everybody.
Oh,
And thanks,
Thank
Chris,
you
for
so
joining.
much.
Thank you, Christian, for joining us.
yay.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here and just share space with y'all. As ridiculous as it got, as real as it got, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the show. Like, we don't plan shit. We just have conversations. And luckily, we're good at discerning cool ass people. We might have had 1 or 2 or 3 misses.
We don't talk about those.
We don't talk about Bruno.
I'm firing on all cylinders today. Well, I've been one of your hosts, TTRPGs. You can find me all over the internet as the TTRPGs. I am the community manager for Evil Genius Games. Everything that I say is my own opinion and not that of
Not
Evil
you,
Genius
Sam.
Games.
You're perfect.
Oh no! Sam lives right here in the heart. Like Thanos.
There's a Sam place spot for Thanos.
Right there.
What else was I saying? Right. We have our Kickstarter for Everyday Heroes. If you could go and back that, if you're not already, you'll make me look good in front of my boss and make sure that I have a job. Later today, you can find me on Roll For It, where we're doing Eaton Grange, our Good Time Society game, where I play Lord Victor, Victor Ward. So you can see if I'll ever get my inheritance back. I basically made myself the character from Moulin. I basically made myself Ewan McGregor's character from Moulin Rouge. Other than that, that's everything. Fuck Nazis. Who's next?
I've been your other host, Anita. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses, because I'm here pretty much all the time. Tuesdays, you can find me here for the Wonder Home game. That is Wayfarer's Guide to Haith. I play a sweet little owl boy named Farley. Farley weeps.
Yay!
And you can also find me here Fridays for the Star Trek Adventures campaign that I GM called The Lost Frontier. And other than that, my schedule's pretty open, so if you want to hit me up for a game or something, You can follow me there. And you'll also find me here for Morning Ritual every Saturday. Our guest next week is Lily Sparks.
Lily's gonna be on the show.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lily.
Oh, I love Lily. Oh my god.
Yeah. Very excited to talk with them. But yeah, thank you all so much. Kappa, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hello. My name is Christian. As you can see, I use he, him pronouns. I'm best known as Kappa in most online spaces. And you can follow me on Twitter at the KappaChris. I don't know. I do a lot of stuff. If you liked what you saw today, what you heard, I've been told that I have the voice of butter, and I'm working
It's
on
so
something.
smooth.
True.
Thank you. I'm working on something to address that. But I try and be funny. I try and be insightful. I do a lot of things to do my best to uplift marginalized voices, as you can probably tell by how this whole conversation went. I am part of a few things. Friends Roll Dice. I'm part of the leadership there. We make decisions to do the uplifting of marginalized voices. You can find me on the podcast Roads Uncharted. The first, we're claiming this, the first actual play set in the Genesis system by Fantasy Flight Games. It's a good time. Like if you like just wholesome characters going on an adventure, that's a story for you. I'm very proud of that campaign. It's GM'd by the lovely GM Dax, Daxara on Twitter. And you can also find me on I'm getting used to incorporating this last thing because it's new. The first episode premiered today, like literally 12 hours ago. To be movie or not to be movie. It's a podcast I do with Brandy Rose at the Brandy Rose as part of the Patoot Podcast Network, where we talk about and react to B movies, not the insect bee, the letter B, because we found, one, we love B movies, but two, there are too many white cis male voices in movie podcasting. Just so if you want to diversify your palette and consume movie podcasts, check out 2B Movie Podcast, #2, the number 2, the letter B, movie pod on Twitter. We play bingo games with each movie. It's fun time. I think that's it. That's coming up that I can talk about, but keep an eye out. I don't know. Unmute your mic and fuck Nazis, yo.
Fuck Nazis.
That's been our show, everybody. Thank you all so much, and fuck Nazis, for joining us. We're gonna go on a raid. I'm thinking, it looks like TTRPGs online. Do we want to go say hi to those fine folks?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that seems like a good idea.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna head over there and say hello to. Wait, am I not following TTRPG?
Oh,
How dare you?
I should be following TTRPG.
Wow. And we're doing this live.
They only
still?
allow in-network raids for some reason.
no. That might be new.
They might have gotten rid of that as part of like a safety protocol, but that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll send some love. But yeah, I do follow them. They should follow me. Looks like also Murfeather's online. We can go say hi.
Yeah, Mayor's doing something really cool today. So go.
Yeah.
I think I
think they're also
fully
raising money,
endorse.
correct? For,
Yes, exactly. So
Fun
that
Texas
can use
Choice?
more eyes.
Yes. So we'll send some love over to our friend Mayor at Murfeather. They're playing some RPGs right now for a good cause. So go send some love over there. Thanks all much for everybody for stopping by and hanging out with us today. And until next time, the ritual has concluded.
I love you. Hate Nazis.
Bye, fuck Nazis.